We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We're here talking about this game. It's winding down as we speak. I'm watching it as it unfolds, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about in regards to this game. There were some misses. You know, your boy said maybe this Vikings passing attack wouldn't do what they did tonight, so I need to take a lap on my Kirk Cousins prediction. But boy, did we call the Jalen Hurts comeback. Boy, did we call the DAndre Swift comeback. Let's go. DAndre Swift to the moon. DAndre Swift to the moon. A lot of good performing players. I've got the stats right here. I'm going to drop them on screen as soon as this thing closes out. But pretty much everybody but A.J. Brown did good tonight. And of course, the DAndre, the Alexander Madison benching. That call was definitely a good one. Big miss on my part. JJ, we knew would have a day. JJ's looked fantastic. Madison looked like cheeks. He was getting shut down all night. Not only that, it's just a tough game. It's a tough matchup. This was definitely the higher low pick of the night, and that one worked out pretty well. Swift still getting carries. Swift has 170 yards on 25 totes of the rock and a touchdown on the ground. Swift looks like an absolute monster. And I sure hope they continue to feed this man DAndre Swift like he deserves to be fed. And we're going to just head into the end of this game here. We're watching it as it unfolds. I think I'm going to hit the intro and then we'll come back.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. You bet your bottom dollar live after shows like this or after games like this for a reaction show. But we certainly have a lot to talk about and discuss. And there's some buy low opportunities here still with A.J. Brown. No longer buy low opportunity for Swift, but maybe you're disappointed in Swift. I think we got all the lights off. We got to turn on all the lights. We got nothing. We got nothing on. Man, Swift a day 172 on 126 totes of the rock. This has not been updated yet, fully because the game is still going on. But let me drop the stats of what we're looking at right now on the screen. But what a day this man has had. Bench Swift. Well, I mean, Trevor, you might have had a tough dilemma or not. But definitely feel like you you probably had some tough choices. I had a lot of people saying they had like Kelly who could start. Kelly was a good play anyway if you were like debating between Kelly with Eckler out right now. And yeah, Cousins gets his flowers. Definitely a tough defense. The one thing I'd have as a takeaway here is that Philly is an amazing defense, but if they're vulnerable to big plays, especially when their defense is making it tough to run the ball, it probably was a mistake on my part to suggest that they would rock Cousins' world all game long. They did in the beginning, but the bottom line is they're going to throw. And, I knew JJ was going to do good. I didn't ever suggest JJ wasn't going to have a day. But Cousins absolutely destroyed. So he had 4 touchdowns. He had 364. He has so far. Excellent outing by Cousins. Played magnificent. Alexander Madison, 28 yards on 8. Let's go back to the screen right here. 28 yards on 8 carries. Swift, 28 carries instead of 26. He's got 175 and a touch. That's updated since I grabbed that screenshot. Jefferson just can't find the end zone. That's the most frustrating thing about JJ. He is so good beyond belief. Like, he is so good at every facet of the game. And I believe he's probably a touchdown machine. But for whatever reason, he just can't score touchdowns. He just can't get fed touchdowns. I don't understand it. It reminds me so much of Julio Jones and how good Julio was. And it didn't make any sense that he couldn't score touchdowns. Trevor, I forget what your question was or who you had in terms of Swift and another player, but Swift absolutely crushed. We got to talk about what's the belief in Swift going forward, and do you sell him high? Do you go use Swift to get an A.J. Brown on the cheap? Do you use Swift off this game to go buy players that were bad in week 1 before they pop off? Get someone to commit to a week 2 performance of Swift and buy low on a player like Garrett Wilson potentially? Or do you want Swift over Garrett Wilson? Do you trust the Eagles coaching staff to commit to Swift going forward? It would seem asinine and crazy to not commit to him going forward, but we've seen coaches screw this kind of thing up before. So I don't, I'm digesting this live. and I don't know exactly how much I value Swift at this moment in time, but thank God this team finally put faith in the guy. Penny was available and active. He's come into the game. He screwed up an A.J. Brown touchdown pass. They had to call back because of a Penny PI. And so, or not PI, a Penny hold. I think it was a hold. He's absolute liability on the field, and Penny looks slow anyway. And every time Swift was taken out of the game and they put Penny in, the whole offense came to a crawl, and they'd face like 3rd and long because Penny would come in and get very little yardage or cause some sort of situation like a penalty. And A.J. Brown caught a touchdown pass. I forget how long it was. It was like 30 or 40 yards or 25 yards or whatever the hell it was. And we all just like started screaming, right? In the chat, in one of the group chats I have, we're like, oh my God. And then we saw the flag. And we're like, what in the hell? Rashad Penny holding or blocking the back or whatever the hell it was. Get the man off the field. Get the man off the field. Keep Swift in the game. And Swift's holding up. He's holding up. The man's toted the rock 28 times for 175 yards. Okay, so now we've got Cousins backed up at about the, 14-yard line. He throws a missile downfield with no time left. It is knockdown, game over. Eagles win 34-28. Great effort by Cousins. Great effort by the Vikings. Amazing job by the Eagles. Amazing change in direction by the Eagles coaching staff at halftime to come out and say, let's run the damn ball. Let's run DAndre Swift. And DAndre Swift has finally come out victorious, and it feels like a dark cloud's been lifted over the DAndre Swift community because we've been sticking by him. We practically pulled every little follicle of hair out of our heads as we've walked into week number 2. And we pretty much tried to write him off in week 1. We're so frustrated with it. But then we got the news that Kenny Gainwell was out. Kenny Gainwell was out. Still some speculation that this coaching staff might botch this. Little birdies everywhere saying, probably going to give Swift more carries. Little birdies everywhere talking, news wires talking, but nothing really hardcore, nothing that felt very secure. Just a lot of hope. And what does Swift come out and do? And let me screenshot the final result here because I got it right here. Here is the final stat line for these guys, and I'll put it on screen here. Game leaders, screenshot, take it, share it, post it. Here it comes right now, dragging it on screen as we speak. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, coming in hot. The new update, the final, the closing bell. Here is your game stats from the Thursday night football game, which almost felt like it lifted the Thursday night curse a little bit too. We got 342 of you in here. We got Kirk Cousins, 364, 4 TDs. That's on me. I didn't think he'd have that kind of game. He went out and exploded. Jalen Hurts could have done better throwing the ball, had an INT, 1 touchdown passing, 193, but this man this is the wrong one. This is the old one. That's the old one. Hold on. Here it is. Updated stats. Kirk Cousins, 364-4. Alexander Madison, 8 carries for 28 yards. Ty Chandler, 1 carry, 0 yards. DAndre Swift, 28 carries for 175 and a touchdown. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, my boy. Unbelievable, my boy. Boss has got 5 carries for 40 yards. He did pretty well. This Eagles offensive line is blocking. Jalen Hurts, okay, he only had the 1 touchdown. He had the INT, only 193 passing, but he had 35 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. 3 total touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, 4 total for Cousins. What a Thursday night scoring affair. I feel like the curse may have been lifted. Maybe these guys shattered the Thursday night curse, and we don't have to worry about that moving forward. I don't know. Who does damage in the double-digit reception category better than Justin Jefferson? Nobody. Jefferson, 159 on 11 receptions, but no touchdowns. But that's okay. We weren't expecting touchdowns from JJ, but let's go. Hawkinson, another miss for me. Another miss for me tonight because I did not bank on Cousins doing this much damage and staying in the game this long. That's on me. Hawkinson, 66 and 2 TDs. He's a great sell candidate, though, if you are in shambles right now. He's a great hold candidate if you're not in shambles. So there's two different types of fantasy owners. You cannot overreact to something from like week one. Like, hey, my team looks shaky. Should I just trade away? Freaking Hawkinson for this or that and assume it's not going to continue? No. This is a tight end environment right now. The landscape of tight ends in fantasy football are very, very, very shaky. So let's see here. Who said this? Scotty said Smitty gave me the gonads to play Swift tonight. Scotty, this warms my heart. Scotty to the moon. Scotty, I appreciate you. Warms my heart. But there are two types of Hawkinson owners. There's the Hawkinson owner that doesn't have a prayer of winning their league. That Hawkinson owner must take advantage if they have to. Look in the mirror. Am I an owner that can't win and I've got Hawkinson and a positional advantage? Can I divide and conquer? Can I turn them into two players I probably shouldn't get? You might be that person. If your team just had a bad week one and you're a worried William, why would you trade Hawkinson? Two types of people. You need to know which one you are. Because the overreacting Oscar is going to think he's the first person that he's got to trade Hawkinson. You may not need to. So if you had a bad week one, settle down. You got Hawkinson. He just dropped a load on the field for you. Enjoy week two. See what happens. But if your team is in shambles, if you drafted JT and Cooper Kupp and J.K. Dobbins and you're in shambles and you can't win with T.J. Hawkinson, you must know the difference. You might have to make some moves and sell high. Same thing with J.J. You'd have to be an idiot to trade J.J. for anything less than 2 second-round players. However, if your team's in shambles and you can't win with JJ, you can't hold JJ because a layman or some guy doesn't know your situation goes, you can't trade JJ. Trading JJ. Imagine trading JJ right now. Imagine holding him if you can't win. You could get the world for him. So it depends on who you are. It depends on the state of your team. Stop talking for other people. AJB, buy low. JJ, hold unless you have to sell. Hawkinson, hold unless you have to sell. Addison, I would say hold unless you have to sell. Devontae Smith, you better hold that man. And I don't want you to sell no matter what. Devontae Smith is a baller. And he's literally 7 feet taller than anybody thought he was going to be this year. And I remember putting a little video out. It's still on my YouTube, and a YouTube story saying top 5 wide receiver. You just wait. AC, why'd you bench Swift? Scotty had the balls to do it. He said I gave him the balls to do it. Scotty or AC, what did you do? Who do you put in there? Now, if you got a guy that still gets to play on Sunday and is a good option, stop crying over spilled milk and get ready for a potential solid performance from the guy you got. Like I had one guy that said he benched DeAndre Swift for Joshua Kelly, but Eckler's out. So Kelly's got a good opportunity to get like 80, 100 total yards in the touchdown. At the end of the day, it won't be crushingly different if he does have a score and 80, 90, 100 total yards. So everybody needs to calm down just a little bit. Muted Mario real briefly because I'm in the middle of some ranting right here. You better be fast. If you list your team, I'm hanging up.
Smitty, bro, listen. I know you're in the middle of something. I've been drinking, Smitty. All right, but don't let me. I'm not gonna get wild, bro. This fantasy game. I just want to talk to the people. Go
Bro,
on Underdog Fantasy.
okay. Yeah, I'll let you do this part.
Go
Go
on
ahead.
Underdog Fantasy.
Promo
use
code
promo code
Smitty.
because I just smashed 3 bets in a row just now, and I'm pretty happy I've been drinking. I had to call you.
Attaboy. Mute him.
And I love you. I have to call you.
Muted Mario. Appreciate you. All right, good job. Congrats, bro. Congrats. Underdog fan. Did you hear? He just smashed a couple higher lows. Let's move Garrett Wilson right now. Good trade target right now. Good buy low target right now, by the way, little Garrett Wilson. But Code Smitty, you heard it from Muted Mario. Muted Mario, who's called the show a ton. He is having a good time right now because he used Code Smitty. He matched up to $100 on his first deposit, and he did some of the higher lows tonight, and he smashed it. Good job, pal. To the moon.
To the moon.
Where were we at? Hawkinson, Baller, Devontae Smith. Look, Devontae Smith. Oh, I was saying that I have a little YouTube video out there, a short, where he was a rookie. You know, he hadn't even played his first snap yet. And I said, watch this man become a top 5, top 6 wide receiver. And 1 year later, after playing his rookie year, I got clown emojis. And this aged well. This aged like spoiled milk. Don't listen to this guy. He's an idiot. Every once in a while I go reflect back on this video, and let me just tell you something. Devontae Smith is here. He's here. I'm not saying panic on A.J. Brown if you own him, and I'm not saying don't go buy low. I would buy low on A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown's got some knee problems, guys, that are not going to get better. They're only going to get worse over time. If anybody thinks that and I buy low on him, I buy low on A.J. Brown. Let me repeat, he's going to be on the buy low list. But if anybody thinks that this is A.J. Brown's receiving room, they've got another thing coming, because it's not. It is Devontae Smith's wide receiver room. It will continue to be Devontae Smith's wide receiver room, and that's not going to change. And at this point, he's the most slippery, able to get into the end zone and linger like a stretched out looks like a 7.5 foot man out there that weighs about $150. Even though he's not 7 foot, he looks like it when he's out there. His wingspan is the size of a car wash. Like, if he was to walk through, he'd have to put his arms like this. This man tries to walk through doors. He's got to go this way because his wingspan is so big, he can't go anywhere. He's got these wings that are just sitting there. And it's like they're like go gadget arms. And every time he goes to catch the football, it's like the ball can't be overthrown. Devontae Smith is a magician in contested catch situations, and it's only going to get better. He's only going to become a better, stronger version. And I love every bit about him, and he is climbing so high on my rankings coming off of this game. I absolutely love Devontae Smith. You had a chance to maybe buy, not low last week, but on the off chance that people were like, okay, he did well, but I'm worried about Hurts. Maybe I'll sell Devontae Smith. That's the territory you were probably in. No longer. This is a top 5 wide receiver to a lot of people now, and I don't blame a single one of those people. I don't blame a single one. Thank you, Scotty. Scotty won his league. I gave him the gonads to play Swift tonight, and he smashed it. Appreciate you. Okay, let's get to the super chats here. Swift to the moon. Young, first super chatter of the night. Let's go. Appreciate you, my kind sir. This one's from Just Sherman. Full load drop on Swift. Someone dropped him. No. No, not on my watch, Sherman. What in the hell were you doing leaving him on the waiver wire? We talked about this during the waiver wire show. When I brought this up earlier in the week, and I said at the beginning of my monologue, I literally said, now guys, before You do anything, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. This is the one thing that's going to win you a league. Sometimes the most important part about week 1 waiver wire are the players that get dropped in the first wave. That we'd see guys like Swift get dropped. Guys like Tony, you'd have to pick up in certain scenarios. But Swift would get dropped. You got to just grab him and hold him. And also Jalen Warren. Full load drop, though. Full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
In fact, if I had to say, bro, if we're talking about Roshan being the top pickup of the year, giving him an 8 out of 10 confidence level of a prediction of being the top pickup of the year. If we were to say what Swift in being the top pickup of the year, let's go ahead and drop that right here and give it a little vote-see poo. I'd venture to tell you at this point in time, he would be our first 10 we've given out in quite some time. So full load drop. Shouldn't have been on waivers. It's okay. Mistakes happen, but you better scoop them up right now. You better scoop them up right now. Like going into this game, you kind of knew Josh Sherman that he might actually start, right? But absolute win if you get him. Come in, we'll celebrate. I appreciate you, Josh Sherman, for dropping the super chat. You are the man. Ron says, yes, give Cousins no respect. Take several laps. Addison, 2 games, 2 TDs, but Swift smashed it against a very poor run defense. Ron, Cousins did well. I already said this at the beginning, and yes, this was one. I can't get everything right. I think a lot of the pre-show predictions did come true, but except for the Kirk Cousins one, which also Kirk Cousins and Hawkinson did very well. But Madison crapped the bed. Honestly, it's on me in retrospect what I need to think about even in a future Philadelphia Eagle potential lambasting, which this was going to be, and then Kirk Cousins dialed it up. They gave him some sort of injection at halftime or something. This guy came out on a terror. I need to consider that the Eagle secondary is vulnerable, not to not make big plays, but vulnerable to give up big yards when teams are trying to inch their way back. Certainly mixed with the fact that the Eagle coaching staff is still in shambles to some degree without their full staff from last year. They're still trying to navigate this situation. They did a good job tonight adjusting and adapting at halftime, but I think it's safe to say where I went wrong and where I'm not going to go wrong again is by assuming that this Eagle defensive line and their offensive line don't control the ball so much that the opposing defense can't throw their way back in. No one's running against them. I mean, anybody could rip off a big run. Anybody could rip off a 70-yard run. I mean, anybody could have that one carry, but this defensive line is the best in the league. The offensive line's the best in the league. The secondary is great. They're playmakers. They're kind of like Dallas. This is why I don't necessarily sit Garrett Wilson this week if everybody's thinking Dallas is atrocious. But Dallas can give up big plays. They make big plays, but they can also give up big plays. So that's the takeaway here. The takeaway here, the Niners are more of a shutdown, maybe still capable of big plays on defense, but they're a shutdown type of defense as well, where everybody's going to come down to a crawl. That's more along the lines of if Cousins was playing the Niners, it would be more of like, okay, this is the game that I was talking about at the front of this. This right here, Cousins earned it. Excellent job. Did amazing things. My Breece Hall and Watson for Fields. I mean, bro, you're drafting Breece Hall over Fields. If this is a super flex, then of course I would want Fields, but if it's not, Breece Hall goes before Fields anyway, so why are you going to give up more? So you don't trade a Breece Hall that's on the rise for a quarterback. But I do think going after Fields is wise. Josh Allen's very cheap right now too, but don't trade Breece Hall. Especially, he hasn't even gotten going yet. Would you sell Swift high after tonight? Charles, this is what I said at the beginning of the show. It is totally dependent on what your team looks like. Just like when someone says you can't sell JJ or Hawkinson off this game, that's hogwash. It depends on your team. Can you win with what you have? If you can, then you don't need to make a trade. You could still make a trade if someone came and and knock down your door with an offer you couldn't refuse, everybody's tradable. But would I go looking to trade JJ or Swift if my team was balling? Not necessarily. But if I can't win and I'm in shambles and I got a prayer answered tonight and Swift went nuts and had 175 yards and 1 TD, which he did, and he did a magnificent job doing it, you know what I'm going to do? Entertain offers that can make my team better, because every trade is independently needing to be looked at to see if you need to make a move or not make a move. It's not about, oh, you don't trade JJ or Tyreek Hill. I hate it when people say in the chat, you can't trade Tyreek Hill, as if you know anything about the person's situation. Of course you could trade Tyreek Hill. There are plenty of teams that are in such shambles that lost games that had Tyreek Hill in the lineup. They've got to make a move because their team's in shambles. But if you have Tyreek Hill and you won, or let's say you lost week 1, but you're looking strong now with Hawkinson or Swift, then you just stay going. You stay on the course. Trust the process. Trust your players. So it fully depends on your situation. Could you sell them high? Absolutely. Would I decline an offer that was too good to be true for even my favorite player? I would trade Bijan Robinson away if it was too good to be true. Cousins 364-4. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Ron. Traded Swift for Brees. I like that. I like that. I'd rather have Brees Hall. But Swift just got into a category of value that could get you Brees Hall. That is amazing. After one horrible week 1 where people wrote him off, and let's be honest, we were so sick and tired of what we saw because it was a repeat of what was going on in Detroit. We were all upset. We all lost our mind. We were saying things like, I can't believe he's on the moon, man. I can't believe he's on the moon, man. But he's on the moon, man.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
He's on the moon, man.
Space Moon.
Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process, baby. Feeling good. Feeling good. Jared says traded Aaron Jones for DAndre Swift and Devontae Smith yesterday. That is a fantastic trade.
Got him.
More so wondering how you did that with him injured, bro. How did you trade Aaron Jones while he's injured? You know, is that something that's going to come back where people are going to say, I didn't know, I'm going to cry over spilled milk? Hey, Smitty, do you trade Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, and Garrett Wilson for Olave and Pierce? Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Garrett Wilson for Olave and Pierce. I'm going to say negative on that. It's very arguable, but I'm going to say no. It's arguable, bro. It's very arguable, but I don't. If you want to move off of Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith was a potential opening. You can't get that anymore. Waddle is an opening. Debo and something is an opening. There's definitely some opportunity for it, but I don't know. I like Pierce a lot, but I don't know that I want to go that direction. One good Swift game doesn't make a season. His durability is the question. It's certainly going to be something that everybody holds their breath over. That's for sure. I mean, no doubt about it. Can we trust the Eagles with Swift or sell high? Depends on the situation, Professor Stroke. What is the scenario? What's your team look like? Is he a running back 2 and you're scared that something could happen? Can you sell off and go get a Kenneth Walker? Can you do something crafty? Can you go get a wide receiver that you normally couldn't even sniff coming off this game, like a Waddle on the low, similar to where Devontae Smith might have been ranked before this game? I certainly have my concerns. I think my concerns at this point after that game, how could I mean, coaches have done stupider things than move off of Swift in this scenario. We've seen it. So you got to be prepared for it, I suppose. But given they won, they changed the course of the way the season was going. They were so successful, and he was so good. His film is going to look amazing. When they sit down to watch the film, they will absolutely be looking at this going, Swift, we got to get Swift the ball. We traded for this guy. Validation, right? Validation. We traded for him. We were right. Now they're going to want to enforce that validation it's gonna be a bias, a confirmation bias, right? Confirmation bias. We gave up draft capital for Swift. We were right. We were right. Put him in. So I fully believe it just comes down to the durability question. Will he stay healthy? He got a lot of work tonight, and that was fantastic. That's a first good step in the right direction. Started Gibbs over Swift. Do I need to take a lap? No. Everyone in here would have started Gibbs over Swift. Every single person in here. So no laps are being taken on that. Will Swift outscore him? Probably. Cousins outscored Hurts in fantasy points. True. Efren, this super chat is for my main man, Vamp, and also for those who, like me, bench Swift. I'm sorry, bro. It wasn't the easiest call. Like, everybody, we were all worried. We were all unsure what was going to fully happen. Like, you can't beat yourself up too much unless your scenario was like garbage. You know what I mean? Like, we came in here, there were some close calls like Brees Hall, Swift. I wavered on that, and I said I'd probably lean Hall, but like I want to go Swift. If I had two different scenarios, I'd go Swift in one and Hall in the other. But I admit if I had two leagues with Swift and Brees Hall, there's no way I was starting Swift in both of them. I would have went Hall in one, Swift in another. So you can't beat yourself up over it. But certainly you've got a good problem on your plate, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anti-Slayer, Swift is back. Swift's back. Let's go.
To the moon.
We got a problem on our hands, and it's what do we do with Swift? I think it'd be crazy to sell him off. I think it would be crazy to sell him off unless you're getting his worth. If you're getting his worth, then so be it. But a lot of people are going to be still in like half skeptical mode, half, hey, I kind of want this guy. Swift to the moon.
To the moon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your super chat. This one's from Jared again. What do I do now? 12-team PPR. QBs are Lamar, Tua, Love. I assume this is one QB, so you're trading one of Lamar or Tua or Love. You could probably trade. This is why you drafted 3 quarterbacks. This is why I told you to draft 3 quarterbacks, because you got this flexibility now. Saquon, Kamara, Swift, Dalvin, Moss, Devontae Smith to the moon.
To the moon.
Watson will be back. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about him at all. JSN will be loading soon. London will be loading soon. Don't worry about that. Ryan, I'm sorry about all the points on your bench, bro. Waller, Kincaid, Musgrave. What do you do with this team? You trade a quarterback. That's all you can do. Assuming it is not Superflex. I don't see Superflex in here. I would trade a quarterback. And Saquon for a better player. CMC, Pollard or above, potentially. Or you ride Saquon out, or you trade Saquon out for Pollard using something else somewhere. London, whatever, Waller. I get rid of Waller. Waller and a quarterback for one big name player, Jared. That's probably what I would do, because I think Waller's going to struggle with injury all year long. Trade Waller and a quarterback and go get yourself, put Kincaid in, go get yourself a big second-round monster. Like Devontae Smith could have been for you had you done it before the game. You need to go after a player you still believe that can be that good. Waddle, potentially, something like that. Would you trade Pacheco and Ayuk for Jamar Chase? If I liked winning, Mad, I would do that. Mad OG, if I liked winning, I would do that. If this is your pipe dream, it's probably not going to happen. If this is on the table, you need to take a lap for not getting Jamar Chase and accepting this, and let us know if it's official so we can hit the got him button. But that is hard to believe that's an actual offer that's out there. And I think you might be looking for an attaboy, because that's a trade to take. London on waivers, I can drop Shaheed or Dotson. Drop Shaheed. I like Shaheed, but I'm dropping Shaheed for London. And I'm not dropping Dotson, because then you're the guy that just dropped London. You're that guy. You don't want to be that guy. That's not a good guy to be. London. Who's dropping London after 1 week? He was a 5th round player. Like, what are we doing here? Overreaction Oscars. It's absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievable. Smitty bench Swift tonight after last week having the worst luck. He's on my squad, though. So, should he be playing moving forward? Ian, I need to know who you have. Like, who did you sit him for? Like, that's the dilemma, If it was like a mediocre player, like, no offense, guys, but Puka. Everyone's on Puka. Puka's even hurt now. Everyone's on this Puka train. Like, as if he's some high-end wide receiver, too. Now he's injured, so we don't even know what's going to happen with him this week. But like something like that, no way I'm sitting Swift. Not after the momentum he had with all the, Gainwell being out, all the hype about him getting more carries. The coaching staff saying he's going to get more work, but like we didn't know what it was going to look like tonight. It was some questions about it. Let's see here. Should I tank this week to get Swift off the waivers? He isn't on a roster. Why isn't he on a roster? Why leave him out there? Why leave Swift out there on waivers? Ordonez. Tank? I don't know that I'd tank. Like, I mean, if you tank though, what are you gonna like? What if you lose the whole league because of this one loss? You know what I mean? So can you trade for the waiver order? Go to the worst team in your league and trade for their waiver order. Get their pick. Like say, hey, I'll give you this player. You pick up pick up whoever I want. And don't let them know you want Swift. Just be like, if there's somebody, I don't know, maybe a quarterback gets hurt and I can pick up a quarterback. Like just make them think you're going in a whole different direction and try and do that. But don't tank a week. Like that's how karma gets you in the wrong direction, bro. Got offered Hurts, Ingram, Mostert, and Gabe Davis for Burrow, Olave. Burrow and Hurts are literally equal. And in some context, I'd rather have Burrow, and you're going to give up Olave? Hell no. Unless you got offered Hurts. So yeah, you're giving up Burrow and Olave. Burrow and Olave and Sanders by a mile. But then I flip Miles Sanders, so I keep this and flip Miles Sanders. I want nothing to do with Miles Sanders right now. Never really have. Sweezy, appreciate you. This is Zastro dropping that here. Thank you, Zastro. I'm going to put all these super chats right here and get through them one at a time, so hang tight for me. I got a $20 hauler from Casio coming in strong with a 20 watt on screen. Casio, appreciate you, my main Casio.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My main Casio coming in strong with a 20 spot. My trade offers in two different owners. Sanders and Garrett Wilson for Gibbs and Mike Williams. I have Herbert. I'd rather have Gibbs and then I flip Mike Williams if I can. Somehow, some way. I don't, just because I have Herbert doesn't make me want him. I don't want Mike Williams, but I do like Gibbs more, so take Gibbs. And Love, let's see, and then what's this other one? And Love for Fields. Of course you take Fields. Bro, that second one was crazy. That second one is absolutely insane. But yes, I approve both of them. Trade Mike Williams away while you can before he gets injured or something like that. Thank you for these super chats. I'm going to drop them on screen here. Matthew Boyd coming in strong with a super chat. What a game. What a nice game. What a couple games we've had Monday. And then this game is felt a whole lot better. Week one sucked in general. And so to have two nice games, really, especially a Thursday night game, not coming in here and being like pissed off and kind of depressed about Thursday night. Loving Thursday night, but getting depressed about Thursday night. Crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's get this here. Caleb, appreciate you. I'm going to pull all these on screen and answer these, so hang tight. Thank you, Terry R. And Ron's the biggest anti-Swift guy. He says trade Swift on the high. Ron, I can't blame you for wanting to do that. I can't blame anybody for being skeptical that he'll stay healthy. Like it's a valid fear. But there is some acknowledgement. I think that he could be something special in league winning. Versus, but I'm not opposed to selling him high. Hit with the super chat. I don't see a message attached to it, but I'm going to put it over here and maybe I'll come back later and see if there's some other message somewhere. Decided at last minute to sit Cousins. I think this might, it's a different one. Hits, thank you. Appreciate you. Rock out with a super chat. Got to take my lap for playing, for not playing Swift in your flex. That's okay, Rock out. It wasn't an easy call for everybody. Everybody's situation was different. We got Roland with a $20 wad on screen. Matt, appreciate you. Legend with a $2 no message. I'll put that here in case you maybe drop something somewhere, and I'll try and go find it. Please attach the message in the super chat, unless you're just giving a super chat. I appreciate you. Jonathan, thank you. Moonman Revenge Week incoming, says Jonathan. I can just put that right here right now. Moonman Revenge Week incoming. Definitely feel like that we're on track for that. Oh, here's Hit's extra message here, so I can get rid of this. Thank you, Hits, for resubmitting a super chat. Let me get rid of that. Let me put this one over here. Legend, I still don't know if Legend was trying to say something. Jimmy the Drunk in here took a lap for saying I was fading A-Rod and Garrett Wilson 100%. Wait, what is this? I took a lap for saying I was fading A-Rod and Garrett Wilson 100% in best ball because A-Rod was going to get injured. Definitely didn't think it would happen 4 plays in. Look, I mean, if you said that, then you did good. You predicted it right. If you did say you're fading Aaron Rodgers for getting hurt, I get it, bro. I get it. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Kerry. I'll get to that. Thank you, Ron Navy, for the $2 hauler. Putting all these right here, guys. Stacking them here. Hits with another super chat. Hits, appreciate you. I'm getting to you. Hang tight. We got a big plate full of super chats here that your boys got to sift through one by one. A lot of them are short, so that's good. Short is good. It's not always, required. I get it. You got something big, but short is going to help us, roll through these a little easier when they're not as long. Some of the novels take a little bit of time, so I get it. Thanks, Smitty. I'm in working another trade, Waller and Wilson for Waddle. That one's okay. I don't mind that. That's like the way of getting out of the Garrett Wilson game without taking too much of a bath on it. But please be careful, guys. Don't trade Garrett Wilson like he's not a potential, like at least 8 to 12 wide receiver. He's got that potential still. Let's not act like he can't have 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns with a rotation of quarterbacks, even if, let's say, Zach Wilson gets injured. Like, this is possible. I think I've got all the this is a lot of super chats on screen here, so hang tight. I did play Swift at my flex, says Rock Out. Attaboy, Rock Out. Was sent Addison for my Rachaad White. Hit the yes mid-game. Absolutely. Rachaad White's not even a guarantee of any kind. You take Addison, even if it was to play as your locked-in, loaded third wide receiver, because he looks like he's going to continue to be fed. Addison looks good. Addison is looking like a trusted downfield threat for Kirk Cousins, and it's going to happen early and stay happening. It would have been a whole different game if he didn't catch that pass, but he did, and you can't take it away from him. So he's looking like a potential downfield, huge catch type player once a game. Whether it's 40 yards, 50 yards, he scores a touchdown and slips past the safety or a defender, and he's got a uncontested touchdown. That's going to happen on occasion for him. So that's fantastic. And Rachaad White is nothing but a potential hope for you. So nice job on that. Drake London for A-Chain and Elijah Moore. I take Drake London. But if A-Chain's dropped in a lot of leagues, guys, you got to pick him up. That boy with a $20 hauler, and also Roland with a 20. Roland, here's your little touchdown celebration.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That's my main man. My main man. And actually, in my defense, I didn't put Hawkinson as a no play. I put it as a hopeful, So the big miss for me was Cousins. I did think that JJ would ball, and I did think that Hawkinson would have a potential day, So in all honesty, I only missed the one, but it was a big one because he had 4 touchdowns. But this is a pretty solid. AJ Brown, I guess that was a miss for me. So I'd say AJ Brown. Let's put that one grade out. I missed this one. I missed that one, and I missed this one. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Madison. Got the Madison one. Cousins one I missed. So that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate depiction of what was going to happen minus the Cousins, which was, again, a big miss. But I didn't say Hawkinson wouldn't do anything. I said just hopefully he can. But that was a good game for everybody. Roland, I'm loving my Swift Bijan Algier best ball team with Love as a QB3. Let's go, Smitty. Roland, Love is going to win a lot of best ball leagues, baby. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited about everybody that's got Jordan Love on their squads. This one here from that boy, drop $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Oh, yeah, and Madison was a miss on my bad. Sorry. Or Addison. But I didn't put Addison on here. I didn't necessarily feel one way or another on Addison. So I didn't exactly call him a bust, but I should have had him on here as a hit. So miss on my part. I'll take it. I'll take the lap. 2 QB, 3 wide receiver, PPR, 10-man league. 2 QB, 3 wide receiver, T-Law Fields. Okay, if it's 2 QB, you're set at quarterback, bro. Chase, Amon-Ra, Pickens, Chubb, Gibbs, Andrews. I'm trading Andrews in fear that he continues to get banged up, bro. So, flex, Puka, Team B, T-Law, Watson, Chase. These are good teams, that boy. As far as, like, moves to make, you know, moving Andrews to get, like, a upgrade. Like, can you trade Chubb and Andrews for, like, a top 3 running back? You know, Bijan. I mean, Bijan's vulnerable right now. His owners are vulnerable because he didn't exactly blow up, and then you've got Algier just looking like a thorn in the side. I mean, I would potentially do that. I also think maybe you're smart to not do anything in that league. As far as this other one, you got T-Law and Deshaun Watson, Chase, Amon-Ra, Debo, Gibbs, Brees, Andrews. Same thing there. Flowers is fantastic. Maybe you just look to move Andrews and let's say maybe Andrews go get Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Burrow using Deshaun Watson and Andrews. Those are the only 2 moves I feel like that team needs at all. That's a really, really good squad. All who started Swift stand up. P.S. Go get Judy. Trey, I appreciate your 6-month membership message. I disagree with the go get Judy comment, but I absolutely
To the moon.
we can disagree. It's okay. Sending you to the moon for the other one. The other one's a baller comment if I've ever seen one. Jimmy the Drunk says, why would anyone play Thursday night guys at the flex? I mean, it was a fear. We definitely talked about it before the show, but you can't not play studs. You can't not play players that you think are going to do well. It's a William, thank you for the $5 holler. I don't know if you sent a message anywhere. I'll go look for it. I have to go look for it after I'm in a certain screen. So please attach your messages to the super chats if you can. That way I don't miss them. $5 holler from Ryan. Just got in. What's up, Smitty? Would you sell high on Swift? Do you think they'd use him the rest of the season like this? We've already addressed this 100 times, Ryan, but you super chat. I'm going to answer you. But Benji became a member. Benji. Appreciate you, Benji. We don't know. We're pretty confident that they're going to look at film. They're going to look at the end result. The fact that they did this to begin with, coming off a bad game. They knew they had to make a change. It's about health, really, at this point. If he stays healthy, he's going to ball out. If he doesn't stay healthy, he's going to piss a lot of people off. But I think it's a pretty safe bet at this point that they know what they have. Trade Mostert for Deshaun Watson. Love's your only QB. Yeah, I would do that because Mostert's going to get hurt. And it's not that I want you to start Watson over Love. I'd start Love. But it's certainly a good backup move for sure.
To the moon.
Mostert won't be there in 4 weeks from now. How's my 14-team PPR? Herbert, Henry, Warren, Chase, A.J. Brown, Olave, Ingram, Benches, JSN, Roshan. Very, very good squad. Nothing to really even move, to be honest with you. Let it all hang loose for week 2. Let JSN gain value. Roshan might become your savior. Bigsby might become your savior. Do not drop Roshan or Bigsby or JSN. You make sure of that, Zastro. Those are your potential ways of winning this league, bro. Your potential way of winning this league. Okay? Super chats here. Thank you guys for the super chats. Chosen one with a $1.99 round with a $2. This next question's from Freddie. Drop running back for McKinnon. 10-team PPR running backs. Gibbs, Javonte. No, because Joshua Kelly is going to gain a lot of value. You might even be able to trade him. Actually, maybe Kyron. I know you just picked him up, but Kyron plays the Niners, and you're going to want to drop him next week anyway. So, I don't know. On the off chance McKinnon's better, I'd rather have McKinnon than Kyron. I mean, Akers is still there. Kyron, I just don't know that Kyron's going to be the guy. That's up to you. It's a very, very indifferent question for me. If you guys could vote in the chat, please. Drop a vote, please. What would you rather have? Kyron playing the Niners next week, and then coming out of that week, maybe you use him, or do you want McKinnon? Bijan and Zay Jones or Zay Flowers. You guys got to be specific, J Money. I don't know who Zay is. Is it Zay Jones, Zay Flowers? Bijan, Zay, London, or Gibbs, Aaron Jones, Higgins, Collins? If it's Zay Flowers, I would say that I'm still leaning the Gibbs side because Aaron Jones is not out for the year or anything, and Higgins is a very undervalued player. I'm going to say Gibbs side, but very, very close. Very tough for me to not go on the Bijan side, bro. That's really hard for me to say that. Sat Swift for DJ Moore. Should I take a lap? No, DJ Moore is a fantastic play. And he still is. So, no, there's no lap to be taken here. It sucks the way that it ended up, but you can't be hard on yourself over that. My whole league is clowning me for trading CD for Debo and Brees. They're making me feel bad, Smitty. They're saying I lost the league now. Trading CD for Debo and Brees. Caleb, you smashed that trade. Caleb, guys, and be honest in the chat. Vote on this. Would you rather have CD Lamb, who watched his quarterback not throw a single touchdown pass when they won 40-0, that's going to run the ball more than ever? Would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or Debo and Brees? You crushed him, bro. You could arguably say Brees Hall is worth more than CD if you wanted to. And you got Debo Samuel. Caleb, sometimes people laugh at people that are innovative and creative and outside the box thinkers. Caleb, dare I tell you that you got him on this trade?
Got him.
Read the chat. I venture to say the chat's going to agree with me. I have CeeDee Lamb. His league is silly. Brees, Debo. There's a couple CD votes for sure. But, bro, look at the chat. It's at least 60% Debo. And I'm telling you, you got him. I'm not just saying you did good. I'm telling you, you got him. You got him. You blasted him. Not everybody's going to agree with me in the chat, but you blasted him. What do I do with Goddard? At this point, no one's going to buy him. I mean, it's a tough tight end market, so maybe, I guess, but you could shop him. But, I mean, you hold him. You just hold him and hope that things turn around a little bit. But there's not a big market for him. Debo Samuel, Pickens, Dotson, Dameon Pierce, those are all guys that are very attainable, and they shouldn't be. So I'd poke around, I suppose, if you could couple a player with Goddard and maybe somebody's an ambulance chaser and they go, yeah, I believe Goddard will be fine. Thanks, Smitty. Have Danny Dimes, Chase Pickens, Christian Watson. It's a $5 hauler. Appreciate you. Monty, Madison, Pierce, Bigsby, Roshan, 14 team, standard moves. I don't like Danny Dimes as your quarterback, bro. Christian Watson's hurt. Monty, Madison. I don't like Madison. Pierce, I hold. There's not a lot of sell highs here, my guy. This might be promo code time. Underdog Fantasy is a way to start over, my guy. Use code Smitty. Link is in the description. I'm going to drop the link right now in the live chat, and I'm going to pin it in a second. But play Underdog Fantasy. I don't mean disrespect on that. I just mean that, like, some of these teams, I'm not saying I couldn't help you try and fix this team. But it's a 14-teamer for one. Hard to kind of recover, but it's doable. You're going to need some things to happen. You're going to need Monty to continue to ball out. You're going to need to be able to trade Madison away somehow, some way. If you could trade Madison away and let's say a Musgrave because someone has no tight end, or Madison and Danny Dimes for some underrated quarterback. Like, let's say you could steal Love away, who's not underrated. Let's say you could trade Madison and Monty and get a Jahmyr Gibbs, or let's say you could trade. You got to have Pickens ball out too. Chase has to return to form, which I think he will. Pickens has to ball out, which I think he will. Christian Watson's got to get healthy This team's not bad. Maybe I shouldn't have hit the promo code button. In a 14-teamer, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Yeah, I was at premature promo code button push. I'm looking at it's not bad. It's not that bad. You just need a lot of these guys to step up together. That's all. They need to hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and get on their horse. Not much trading you can do, though, unless you trade Chase away, and you can't even trade him away unless you get some value. But poke around there. You just need everything to ball at one time. You just need to have everybody recover. Smitty, what's up, brother? And once Chase goes off, once you get a couple guys like Pickens to go off, let's recalibrate and see if we can send out a trade for like 2 players that are undervalued still. Smitty, what's up, brother? Which 2 running backs to start? 0.5, Brees, Algier, Dylan, Gus, Kelly. I'm going to go. Kelly's interesting. We got to monitor the situation. If Eckler's out, he is a really good play. Algier and Eckler, or Algier and Kelly could be your safest plays, but how do you sit Brees Hall? Tough matchup, Dallas D, but the guy can pop off one run at any moment. This one's from, trying to go in order in which they came in, guys. Time to ditch Goddard, Hurts, Ertz, Musgrave, Kincaid. You better not cut him. Try and trade him or hold him. But I'm going to say Hurts, tough matchup. At the end of the day, I want Kincaid because I think he'll be the better guy. He'll be the better guy of the players listed below Goddard. Trade Pierce and Monty for Adams and PPR. I don't know that you got him, Calvin. I think that it's arguable on both sides. If Adams can be a 10-plus touchdown player, then it's going to be even. If he can be a 14, 15 touchdown player, which I don't think he will be, then you can beat him in this trade for sure. If Monty scores 10 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, and has 1,300 yards on the ground or 1,200, which he totally could without even hurting Gibbs at all. And Pierce is a, 1,500 plus total yard running back with 10 touchdowns total. I mean, he might have got you, like Calvin, but it really depends on what Adams does and what you think of Adams. I'm just not a huge fan of his situation at all. Swift was dropped in this week. Couldn't get him before the game. Okay, Sherman, I'm sorry if I assumed that you could have got him. Definitely full load drop on. If Swift's out there, guys, full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
$5 hauler just got offered Kamara, Mingo, and Pickens for Flowers and Nico. You got to take that. I love Flowers, but bro, Kamara's a league winner. Go get Kamara. Smitty approved. Okay. Thank you, Matt Boyd. Appreciate you. This one right here is from Ian. To answer you, Smitty, I benched him for Brees Hall and Walker. You can't get mad at yourself for that. We had a couple people had that option of going Hall or Swift, and we sat here and wavered. I wavered. I went back and forth. I literally said, I don't know if I could sit Brees. If I had 2 leagues, I would start. I would have. I'm telling you the honest truth. I could get in here and say I would have started Swift in both leagues. I'm telling you the honest truth. If I had 2 leagues side by side, and I had this in several scenarios, I would start Brees in one and Swift in the other to hedge my bets there. But you can't be mad at yourself. It is what it is. But I could have flexed him, especially because Christian Watson might not play. Yeah, that part makes it tough because Watson's not likely to play. So at this point, you got to assume that. Do I drop JSN for Roshan? You got to get Roshan because he's my top pickup of the week. I mean, I'm sitting there saying that all week long, but do I drop JSN? Absolutely not. JSN's not your worst player. I know. I've been around the block. I've been here. This is not my first rodeo. There's no way JSN's your worst player. But yes, go get Roshan. Do it now. Do it live. Trade Fields, Garrett Wilson, Swift for Burrow and Chase. Give me Burrow and Chase, and literally, you got him big time if you pull that off.
Got him.
I mean, come on. Ron Navy says, Addison, 2 games, 133, 2 TDs on 7 receptions. LOL. We know you like him, Ron. We know it. He looks good. Ron. He looks good. Need to pick up a tight end and drop a bench Puka, London, Roshan, Brian Robinson, Charbonnet, have Walker. What do you do? Also, Swift plus any of my bench for Mark Andrews. I'd rather have Swift than Mark Andrews, so the answer is no. Your worst player is Brian Robinson. But Puka's injured, so you got to monitor that and maybe make a decision. But Brian Robinson's your worst player. And I think I got a couple $20 haulers that came in here. One's from Juice. Juice is going to get helped immediately with a $20 spot right there. Juicy, appreciate you. Liquid Silk coming in with a 20 wad. You're going to get immediate assistance as well. Appreciate you. And yeah, that's catching up that. And then I've got a bunch of other super chats that came in that I got to drag on screen. This one's from Liquid Silk. Appreciate you, Liquid Silk. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Liquid says Superflex Mahomes, Daniel Jones, AJB, St. Brown, DK, Watson, Pacheco, McKinnon, Elijah Mitchell, A-Chain, Sharps, Roshan, Zach Moss. Need 2 running backs this week. What are your thoughts? Pacheco and probably God, that's not Roshan. I'd gamble on Roshan. I'd go Pacheco and Roshan. You could go McKinnon and Pacheco, but man, it's such a lot of risk. And what trade should you make? I don't know that there's a lot to maneuver here. Let's see here. Unless you trade away A.J. Brown. You can't sell him high. St. Brown, DK. Yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room here. I mean, you got to like trade Mahomes down to Fields. Try that. Try trading Mahomes down to Fields to get like a big name player, like a Debo or something, you know? Because I think Fields, make sure it's a big player, maybe even higher than Debo. You know, make sure you get a significant piece, and then that might be worth it for you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Juicy. I'm in trouble, Smitty, even though I'm 1-0. QB Watson and Love, running back Stevenson Hall, Cook, Garrett Wilson, London Cup on IR Sky. James Cook, and I mean, you might be a candidate to sell Cooper Kupp for somebody like Debo, like Dameon Pierce. James Cook and Kupp for like ETN. You know, or, bro, sell James Cook, upgrade Watson to a Burrow or a Josh Allen or a Fields, and hammer home your quarterback situation and have a strong QB room to kind of carry you. And then you roll the dice with Roshan as your third running back. That might be the best play for you, bro. I like it, though, Juicy, but I think quarterback might be your way of getting one over on everybody. You know what I'm saying? PPR, Drake London for A-Chain and Elijah Moore. I'm keeping Drake London. We're getting ridiculous now. 5th round player, 1 week has gone by for that guy. I was able to get Christian Watson for Montgomery today. Montgomery's as good. This is an equal trade, David, but I don't hate it. I don't think you got ripped off. I don't think you ripped him off. They're very, very even. I mean, Monty's going to get work. So Christian Watson's got to get on the field too. So I don't think that's a bad move, but this current moment in time, Christian Watson's not on the field. Like, he might get you on this initially because Monty's playing. Unless you don't have a room to even play Monty, then is a good move for you strategically. But right now, Monty's on the field. So definitely didn't get him, but you definitely could if it all works out. D. Smith, Mooney for Waddle. I don't mind that one. That's not a sell low or anything. That's selling high. And if Swift continues to work out, it should be equivalent to Waddle anyway. So that's a good move, essentially. That's a good move if you want to do some lateral safe step to get out of Swift. I Smitty approve that trade if you want to do it. I Smitty approve it on either side, though. If someone came to me and said they want Swift, they need a running back, they're going to give up Waddle, I would tell them to try and get more, but I would definitely be like, that's not a bad move, bro. You know what I'm saying? So Smitty approve on both sides, but I don't know that I'm going to hit the button because I don't want people to think that I don't love both of those sides. Trying to make up for the value I lost in Wilson. Yeah, but don't freak out too much about Wilson. Wilson's still very, very good. Javonte McKinnon, London, or Gabe Davis at the flex. For me, it's probably going to be Javonte safe. London's your higher risk, higher reward, and you're waiting on everybody else to before you move them into a lineup spot. Drop Schultz to pick up Kincaid, absolutely. Absolutely, Kincaid season. Don't leave Kincaid out there. Thoughts on running back room, trade or keep Bijan, Robinson, Pierce, Herbert, Swift, Charbonnet, McKinnon, Roschon. I probably keep that room unless you can couple like Swift with a Pierce to get a Pollard. You know, something crazy, bro. Or Swift and a wide receiver like, let's say, Puka to go get yourself a freaking top 25 overall player that is wide receiver. You know, something along those lines. A Gibbs, Swift and a Puka, Swift and a wide receiver that you don't really love, you know, that everybody else kind of likes, like a Mike Williams, like anything like that, to go get a Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm hitting that button right away. Xavier with this one offered A.J. Brown and Kamara for Swift and Garrett Wilson. I don't know about that one. I like them both. Both sides have a lot of value and upside, but like A.J. Brown is still good. It doesn't mean he's done. Just because I said at the beginning of the show or in the middle of it or whatever it was that A.J. Brown may not be the number one wide receiver there anymore. Devontae Smith was still a top 7-8 wide receiver as the number 2 in Philly. And A.J. Brown's going to bounce back. He's going to have a big game. He's going to have 180 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game coming up, and people are going to go, he is him. All these Devontae Smith fans, ha, ha, ha. Like, he's going to have days, bro. You don't sell low. You're selling A.J. Brown low. And Kamara can win leagues and is a potential running back 1. I'm not saying don't do this or do this. This is a very even side. If we could get everybody to vote on this, what side do you like, A.J. Brown and Kamara or Swift and Wilson? Please vote for Xavier. This is a very, very tough call, and I'll even leave this on the screen here. I'm torn on it just looking at it. Sell high on Addison. Again, Boone, this is one of those things where you get a lot of people that come in the chat and they say, imagine selling high on Tyreek Hill. Imagine selling high on JJ. You shouldn't do it. You don't know what someone's situation is. Addison's a great hold and play if you need something and you got to make a trade. Some people can't win with what they have. They've got to take advantage of players popping off and dividing and conquering and turning players into 2 players and trying to buy low. I would say in general, hold. If someone comes and knocking and spends and gives you like you can take Addison and pair it with the running back you don't love, like Madison or Miles Sanders, and turn it into Waddle before Waddle pops off, I'm all for that. That's the kind of move where you can sell them. You know, you can sell them. It doesn't mean it's right for everybody. Buy low on AJB, for sure. $5 hauler, 14-team dynasty, hurting at wide receiver. Trade my Mixon in London for London. He wants ETN for his London. No, bro. That's a no-go. That's an absolute no. That's almost take a lap worthy if you were even considering it. Appreciate your super chat. Kerry, stand down, Kerry. Kerry, stand down. Kerry, stand down.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
Absolutely not. Absolutely freaking not. Would you have traded Pollard for Devontae Smith last week? No, I would not have traded Pollard. Like, being honest, I would not have traded Pollard for Devontae Smith last week. Would I do it now? They're pretty even. I don't know that I would say yes or no. It's not. It's very debatable. What's up, Smitty? Trade CD to the Dak owner for Devontae. I think we got to be careful not to act like CD Lamb's trash. He's not. But do I like Devontae Smith more than him right now? I do. But that's debatable. I can understand people being upset over that. You know, CD Lamb's still a top 14 overall player, top 15 overall player. Let's not pretend he's dropped out of the top 15 overall. He's not. He's still there, but there's concern. I'd rather have Devontae Smith. I'd rather have Devontae. Garrett Wilson and Godwin for Ridley. Give me... If you pull this off, you're doing a magician's job. This is a very, very good. This is wizard type stuff to go get Ridley at that cost. Honestly, because I love Garrett Wilson, but that is the kind of move you try and make. My Algier and Christian Kirk for Breece Hall. Come on, hit. There's no way you're pulling that off. If you pull that off, come back and tell us, and we'll hit the got him button. But Breece Hall doesn't cost you. I've seen people do it though, so it's possible. But man, some people are getting Breece Hall so cheap. I don't get it. I don't get it. My Mixon for Pickens and Brian Robinson. Not enough, bro. I mean, I don't like Mixon, but he's got more value than that, and I definitely sell him, but you need to get more. Addison, number 1 rookie fantasy wide receiver this year. He definitely could be. I think Flowers is going to be right there, too. They're both very, very good, and I think JSN gets there. It's just a matter of does JSN play catch-up? Is JSN eventually catch up to that? Thoughts on Madison? Probably can't trade him for... probably can't trade him. Thoughts on Madison? You can't trade him. There's no way you can trade him. Look, the phone lines aren't open, Ben, but I'll give you your 30 seconds, like we do when we open the phone lines. 30 seconds, Ben, and that's it. If you don't get it out, you don't get it out, pal. Go.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know it was Smitty. Thoughts on DAndre Swift going forward now that he had a breakout game?
I mean, we've talked about this about 500 times on the show already, and I don't mind talking about it again. I'm just letting you know to rewatch it if you want more content on it. But it's like, How does the coaching staff not see he's the guy now? It's probably pretty hard. Like, coaching staffs are incompetent. Okay, it happens all the time. Coaching staffs are absolutely incompetent, and we've seen people botch situations like this before. I mean, they botched it in week one. But what they did is rectified it. What they did is regrouped, and they said, how do we change what happened in week 1 for week 2? Then Gainwell was ruled out, and it's like, okay, they've got to know the playmakers need the football, and they gave their playmaker the football to the tune of 28 carries for 175 right here. What a monster. The only concern at this point, because I don't see how a staff doesn't go into the film room and rewatch the film and say, what in the hell were we doing in week 1? Look at this elusive, slippery mother effer, just getting in and out of those gaps like they're not, like they're 8 foot, openings. He is so good and slippery. He is so electric. The only concern is injury, bro. The only concern is injury. Thanks for the question, Ben. But he's an absolute elite flex and probably a very good running back too going forward. It's just injury. It's injury concern. And you just got to ask yourself if you could trade him for a safer vehicle that feels like they in your mind they've got as much upside. I can't blame you for doing it. Like you couldn't have traded Swift for Deebo Samuel before this game. You couldn't sniff Deebo. You couldn't sniff a player like Walker. You couldn't sniff a Waddle. You couldn't go near those guys with DAndre Swift. Now you can. So you just have to ask yourself, will the ride continue, or should you get off and sidestep into a underrated Waddle or an underrated Walker or an underrated Deebo and play play the odds game and say, look, if the ride continues, I won't be mad. I'll just watch that person have a good season as I will because I bought somebody I really believe in. You just got to ask yourself, are those players available? Are they attainable? Is Deebo comparable to Swift? Absolutely. So it just depends on what your team needs are. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you. The phone lines will be open later. Thank you for calling it. Danny, you got 30 seconds too, Danny, and then I got to get back to the Super Chats.
Hey, what's up, man? I wanted to know, I have 4 wide receivers, and I can... Wait, did you say something?
You got 21 seconds. I didn't say anything.
I have 4 wide receivers: Olave, London, Pickens, and Flowers. Pick 3.
Olave, London, who? Flowers and who?
Pickens. And Pickens.
So Olave, that's not a question. So Flowers, yeah. London, Pickens. I'm probably going to go Flowers and Pickens. I think Pickens is going to have a good day. Flowers and Pickens. Put London on the bench for now. Appreciate your call. All right. Thoughts on Madison? Probably can't trade him. Should you weather the storm? No. I said to get rid of him before this game. I said to get rid of him before that game, and I said not to draft him, and I think it's only going downhill from here. Who's going to take him? Who's going to take him at this point? He was fool's gold from the start, and maybe in a package deal, you could trade away like a Keenan Allen and Madison to get a player that's ranked right next to Keenan Allen that you just like better. Icing on the cake type of throw-in. He's a throw-in now. He's not a second piece. He's a throw-in. He is icing. That's it. Throw the icing on the cake. Turn Keenan Allen into Deebo. That's it. That's all you can do. Turn Garrett Wilson into Waddle and throw him in. That's the only thing you can do at this point. Otherwise, yeah, you probably do need to weather the storm versus, anything else. Offered A.J. Brown and Kamara for Swift and Wilson. I already had this one. That's definitely one that that is probably like going to be debated in the chat pretty hardcore. So expect that to Ron, you got 30 seconds. I'm sure you want to talk about Addison.
No, actually, after tonight's game, everybody's saying Cousins can't play in prime time. Well, he just proved them wrong.
He did good.
Check what the weeklies on Underdog. I got one team at in 177th place right now.
Really?
After tonight's.
That's on the weeklies. Nice. Man. I haven't checked. I got to look. Look. Is that because you had Cousins though, right? It bumped you up from having.
I had Cousins on that team. I had Swift on that team. I had Addison
Swift
on that team.
It's the Swift team, Ron. It's the Swift team that's going to win you the money, and I'm going to be here for it.
I got six other teams though that are like winning $10.
Yeah.
That 177
Ron,
right now is $100.
If you win all,
still got a long way to
if
go.
you win big cash money, having the one team that you have Swift on it, I'm gonna be so excited.
I know you will.
And if I win with Cousins on the team I auto drafted him on, we're gonna be celebrating together.
Yeah, we will.
All right,
man.
All right.
Do your super chats.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Later on. Good job on that.
Bye-bye.
I hope I'm winning a weeklies coming soon. I really do. Guys, can you vote on this one more time? A.J. Brown and Kamara versus Swift and Garrett Wilson. My instinct tells me to go. I don't know. Honestly, I'm torn. I'm completely torn. I'm going to answer that one in a little bit. I want to know what everybody thinks on this. Vote on this, please. Vote on this, please. I need some answers for Xavier because that is probably the toughest question of the night. It's so even, Steven, man. $10 hauler from Big.
To the moon.
Appreciate you, Big, for dropping the super chat. I traded for T. Higgins and DAndre Swift to give Mike Williams and Connor. That's a smash, bro. You blasted him into a million pieces and made a trade for Burrow and Tyler Algier. Superflex league. I gave Dak and Hopkins. That's fantastic, too. Smash him. Got him.
Got him.
Totally got him, bro. Totally got him. We got Swift Wilson side, AJ Kamara side. It's a win-win. AJ Kamara, Swift Wilson, AJ Kamara. It's a total, like, everybody's all over the place on this one. AJ Kamara. It's about the same. There's no difference. That's why it's so hard. I can't even. I'd be lying. I'd just be choosing a side. I'm telling you, it's a dead even trade. It's a dead even trade. You just got to ask yourself, do I like Kamara being out 2 more weeks, or do I like the risk of Swift getting injured? Because that's really what it is. A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson probably have similar value. You know, I think A.J. Brown lost a lot of value. I think Garrett Wilson lost a lot of value, but not. They're both going to be underrated. I'm buying both of them. So even if we just called Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown a tie at, call them 15 to 25 overall talent, and they still are. Stop acting like Garrett Wilson's an 8th round player. Everybody needs to stop that. He's not a 4th rounder. He is a late 2nd to top of 3rd round at the very least. That's where A.J. Brown is at the very least. So if we take A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson out of this trade right here, and we say Kamara for Swift, who would you rather have? The crazy part is, you couldn't get Kamara for Swift if you wanted to. Even if you went to a person in a coma and you said check the box and you put their hand on it, the fantasy gods would intervene and not allow you to get Kamara using Swift. There's no way it was happening before this game. So now you can. And you just got to ask yourself, is Kamara missing 2 more games that big of a deal to you? And is that offsetting the risk of Swift getting hurt? And maybe he misses 2 games somewhere. And maybe Philly messes with the rotation. I'm inclined to say it's just dead even, bro. It's crazy. It's probably the craziest dead even trade I've ever seen. It's the craziest thing. Okay. I traded for T. Oh, I already got to this one. Thank you. Appreciate you. Smashed both those trades, bro. And then I got to get to the new super chats that are on screen, and I've got everything that's been on the screen, off the screen. My opponent bench Swift. Obviously watching the wrong fantasy show. Great stuff, Smitty. That's awesome, Pyro. Congratulations, my man. Congratulations. Sora with the super chat. This is a $20 hauler. You're going to get handled first. This is iSong. Why did you change your name, iSong? Now I don't recognize you. That's okay. Now I know who you are. Foamy dropping a $20 hauler on screen. You're going to get helped immediately. Thank you for dropping that. And let me get... God, there's more super chats. These things have come rolling in. I am a little bit behind, guys. The seat at the restaurant here is a long wait, but once you get here, we take care of you. You got a nice seat. It's a good view. You're going to have a good time at this restaurant. Restaurant Day Smitty. So hang tight. I'm sorry about the delay here. Let me pull all these super chats on screen and then get to the $20 haulers immediately. Foamy and I Song. Appreciate you guys both. Let's drop that here. Drop that here. Let's go up here. And we've got this one we need to drop on screen. Good Lord, you guys are absolutely amazing. There's so many super chats sitting right here. We got Vampy with another one. Vampy says, do I trade CD and Swift for Chase? You know what? I'd probably say... What's the chat think on this one? Let's get a mass vote on this one. And for anybody out there, every once in a while I see a stupid comment. Somebody says something like, Smitty, why do you ask the audience? We're asking you. So lame of you. Because I trust you guys. Like, what analyst knows everything? What analyst doesn't actually want to get the opinions of the people? Like, I'm going to give you my take, but I am very curious what my astute, absolute amazing fan base thinks of a trade like this. So what if I ask my audience? I'll ask my audience if I want. But it's such a dumb comment to be like, all right, we're asking you. No, you know what? I venture to say that Vampy prefers to have 500 people, how many people vote on this. We got 825 people in here right now live. Hit that thumb up button. We only have 217 thumbs up. We got 825 people in here live. You're telling me Vampy doesn't want my opinion plus about 200 or 300 other people that might end up voting? Get out of here. Get out of here with your negative comment. Get out of here with it. CD and Swift for Chase. What are we doing here, guys? CD, Swift. Swift, CD. Chase side, sell, Swift high. Swift, CD. Yeah, that's tough, man. I lean toward the two players only because, you know how I always say, when you make a trade, you got to ask yourself, let me go to that trade scenario board that I have right here where we say, is this where it is? So when you're talking about making a trade, okay, and let's put CD Lamb over here. We'll make this Diggs Lamb. Okay, so you're trading away. I'll make this Chase. If I spell it right. If you're trading away Chase, Vampy, and you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go after a Lamb and Swift. So let's make Hurt Swift so we can keep the green color theme going. You ask yourself this in a 2-for-1. Here's the two players you're getting. Lamb and Swift, okay? You got to ask yourself the question, could each of these guys individually hang with the guy you're giving up, the one player, the better player in the deal? You're trading Swift away. Could Lamb hang with them? The answer is yes. Probably not, but anybody that's objective could tell you, hypothetically, Lamb could hang with Chase. Even without an injury, Lamb could hang with Chase. But injury is also a consideration because if Chase went down, you've got nothing. If Swift went down, you've got Lamb. If Lamb goes down, you've got Swift. And on the flip side, could Swift, if let's say all goes perfect for him, could he hang with Chase? Again, not likely, but feasibly. Is it possible, hypothetically, that he could by himself, if let's say Lamb got injured, hang in this trade offer and keep you afloat and kind of in the business? Yeah, the answer is yes. So that's when you know you're making a good trade. The two players you have could arguably stand 1-for-1 alongside of the player. It's not a good fight, but they could fight. They could fight tooth and nail to be worth more. And then you're diluting talent. What if Chase goes down and you have nothing? It dilutes your risk. It gives you more opportunity, and you have more trade opportunity as well. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say give me the CD Swift side, but it is very hard to send Chase packing. If you had the depth to do it, I would say do that trade on the flip side, though. Like, let's say Bob had a boatload of talent. He had a guy like, I don't know, in London and Christian Watson and all these players on the bench. I would throw two players together for one Jamar Chase. So the context kind of matters. This is Foamy with a $20. Actually, Foamy and I Song. I need to drop these super chats on the screen real quick before I come for your $20 haulers, because I just don't want to lose track of these. But I'm not answering any more until I get these off my books. Appreciate you, Foamy and Sora. I'm coming for you right now. Just hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. Here comes your answer. Benji dropping a super chat on screen. Christopher Garza, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. Let me make these smaller and put them in the corner. Okay. Christopher, thank you. This one is from Vegas Mark. This one's from Drip. I'm going to answer these in order in which they came rolling in. Foamy, appreciate yours. I got you on screen already. This one's from Logan. Good God, we're going to be here a while, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Elevation, let's go. We got Adrian with the $2 hauler. Adrian, appreciate you. Avi says Swift is that guy. Statement game only deal for a lot. Exactly. Appreciate you, Avi. Thank you. Ryan, I'm trying to answer the ones that I can answer as I drop it, or if they're just statements. Okay, here is not Kwani. Appreciate you. And I think I'm caught. No, I'm not. Good Lord. Landon, thank you, Landon. Appreciate you. Scotty Dude dropping a $2 hauler. We got Hung Like Hernandez dropping a $10 hauler. Goodness gracious, people. You guys are amazing. William dropping a $5 hauler. We got Legend dropping this $5 hauler. We've got the Liquid Silk dropping that super chat. We've got Cody dropping a $5 hauler. Sanchez dropping a $2 hauler. Box of Juice dropping a $5 hauler. And then now I think I can go back down to the bottom where we've got two more super chats that I'm going to drop on screen here. And those just came in, so I'm going to put those up here and answer those last because those just came in. Thank you very much for your super chats, everybody. Appreciate you. Okay, let's get to it. So the $20 haulers go first. This one's from Foamy. Foamy, thank you for the 20 spot on screen. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Foamy. Hey, Smitty, lateral here. Lateral Nicholas. 12-team PPR. Lamar, AR, Cook, Swift, Herbert, Kyron, Akers, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Elijah Moore, Jameson, Andrews, Hurts. Any moves to make? Lamar and James Cook for Josh Allen. For Burrow. For Fields. Go get Roshan. Why you don't have him with Herbert's beyond me. Akers and Kyron. I'd trade Akers and Kyron together for something if you can. But you need to get Roshan. I hope you didn't go get Kyron and not go get Roshan after I told you 1,000 times. Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra is really, really solid. I'm trading Andrews and putting Hurst in my lineup. So if you can get rid of Andrews to upgrade Lamar into Josh Allen, I do that. If you could trade James Cook and Andrews to go get a Walker or ETN or someone of that caliber, I do that. If I could trade Elijah Moore and Andrews for a Deebo Samuel, I do that. Foamy, those are the moves that I make. Those are the moves that could potentially win you a league. This is iSong with a thank you very much, Foamy. Appreciate you. To the moon, pal. iSong dropping a 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I'm like fumbling it all around when I'm trying to throw it on the... I'm having a trouble making it rain today for some reason. My hands are... I've got butterfingers. iSong here. Long time no see. Graduated with my bachelor's in psychology now. I can be active more. I got a psych degree myself. I got my batch in psych, and so you're in good company here, pal. Congratulations. Are you gonna get your master's? What are you gonna do with that psych degree? Now I can be active more. My 14-team, 2 QB league. T-Law, Love, Stroud, JJ Ridley, nice. Dotson, okay. Running backs are Swift, D. Cook, Kamara. Really good. Not a lot to really move, to be honest. I mean, can't move. Maybe move Stroud. I know it's nice to have a third quarterback, but maybe move Stroud to somebody that's very QB needy, and you could turn Stroud and like Dalvin Cook into, I don't know. I keep using Debo, Waddle. I keep using players of that ranking. I'd probably also say players that look really solid right now at that level. Let me go ahead and see the rankings on thefantasyfootballshow.com. I would say, JT's interesting. Kamara's interesting. Debo's interesting. Christian Watson's interesting. DJ Moore. DJ Moore might be a really sneaky go-get for a lot of people. In fact, that might be, I'm going to write him down right here just to make sure I don't forget to make a video on DJ Moore, on Kamara, on JT. Those are all guys that I want to talk about more. Those would all be good moves for you. And maybe you stay afloat, long enough with those quarterbacks to maybe explore that JT Kamara potential buy low situation, because your team looks like it might stay afloat with quarterbacks. A lot of people have bad quarterback play. You've got really good quarterback play. Start one wide receiver. Thank you for the super chat. Go after those players using those combinations. And quite honestly, let me put this back on screen real quick and just, I want to take care of my $20 haulers. Stroud might help you turn Dalvin. Oh, you got Kamara. Sorry about that. So JT, you might be able to turn Dalvin Cook and Stroud into JT. The JT owners' plans might have changed, bro. Just because they wanted to hold JT last week at 0-1, they probably don't want to hold him this week. Ridley, JJ is unbelievable. Kamara's going to be. Swift looks fantastic. Maybe you entertain selling high on Swift just to get into like a Debo and running back that is undervalued. I like Pacheco a little bit for you as well if you were to go kind of crazy and trade away Dalvin Cook and a potential like Stroud for a wide receiver and have one less RB. I really do like the idea of Pacheco and Swift in crafty fashion for you, but at the end of the day, I want you to get a walker. I want you to use maybe Pacheco, maybe as a big game too. You could use Pacheco and Stroud to maybe go get a walker, something like that. But JT's interesting for your team. I think so. I like it. Box of juice. Should I trade Swift away for Puka Nacua?
Warning.
Alert. Alert. Panic mode initiated.
Yeah, I've got a follower. His name's Box of Juice. There's something wrong. I think he's being held against his will because, I mean, he's literally asking a code. This is a code. This has to be a code. There's no way that Box of Juice would tell us this. I don't know what's going on here. Something's going on. Something's going on. Here's what he said, and you'll understand what I'm talking about because this is not something a person would say.
Purchased $4.99 from Box of Juice. Should I trade Swift away for Puka Nacua? I need WRs. Thanks, Smitty.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you're sending somebody. Definitely, there's no way that would be said by anybody that was conscious or wasn't being pushed into a situation like that. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, no, I know Puka's hurt. Puka might not even play this week. He doesn't. He knows that. Box of Juice knows that. There's no way Box of Juice would actually offer this. He's asking for help. Thank you. Bye-bye. Box of Juice, I know you know this. You have to know this, Box of Juice. First of all, thank you for the $5 hauler or whoever it is that's telling you to do that. Puka might not play. He's injured. Maybe he plays, but he's injured right now. On top of that, Swift just gained you so much value. Swift could have got you Puka before tonight's game. I'm only being firm and hard on you, Box of Juice, because I want you to not make a mistake. That's the only reason you're getting the business from me right now. But I want you to understand what you have right here. I want you to understand the value you have right here. And I want you, first of all, now I know you feel probably like, okay, this is a lot, Smitty, you could just tell me no. But I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, I drafted DAndre Swift. I have the foresight to go get this man. I made this happen. Pat yourself on the back, but take a lap. Appreciate you very much for the super chat, though, and congrats on your big day for DAndre Swift. But don't botch it. Don't have that syndrome of getting rid of it before the whole thing falls apart. Trade Garrett Wilson and K9 for Pollard. Too much. Where have we really got there? Have we really got where Garrett Wilson fell from number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 overall to what? Where are we valuing him, Caleb? You're being a concerned Caleb here. I appreciate your $2 hauler. You know I appreciate you. But Garrett Wilson and K9 is worth more than Pollard. There's no way I'm making that trade. Garrett Wilson's not trash. He's a wide receiver 1 still. Who out there is spreading this rumor that Garrett Wilson still doesn't have wide receiver 1 capability, even if it's 12? Wide receiver 12. You telling me that Garrett Wilson can't be wide receiver 12? Even with a rotation of quarterbacks. It's madness. Fields, Aaron Jones, Superflex 10-man league. Thanks again for the super chat, though. Fields and Jones, Sutton for Mahomes, DJ Moore, and Mike Williams. Fields, Aaron Jones, Sutton for Mahomes, DJ. I'm going to take Mahomes, DJ Moore, and Mike Williams. I like Aaron Jones a lot, but he's banged up. And I also feel like Mahomes is better than Fields, but I love Fields. Fields could be 1-5. Mahomes is 1-5. I believe Fields will be, but there's a big difference in being it and probably being it, and then having the difference of DJ Moore, who I find very undervalued right now, and Aaron Jones is banged up. This is Legend. 10-man PPR, what should I do with my team? Any trades? Lamar, Kirk, get Lamb. Oh. Who's GT? Garrett, I was going to say Garrett Wilson. Who's GT? Am I blanking out? Who's GT? Why are we doing this? How am I supposed to know what GT means? Maybe he meant CD Lamb. I don't know. I was thinking Garrett Wilson. What's GT? Garrett T. Wilson? Is his middle initial T? Garrett Thomas Wilson? What are we doing here? Lamb, Debo, Godwin, Bourne. I'm going to assume that's CD Lamb and not GT Lamb. Got Lamb? Okay. Well, I mean, it says wide receiver. I already know this is his QB, Lamar, Kirk, wide receiver. Got Lamb. Get Lamb. Get Lambed. Get Lamb. Let me fix it for you. I think you maybe say get Lambed. Let's do that. Get Lambed. There we go. I added an E for you. Get Lambed. Debo, Godwin, Bourne. Eckler, Gibbs. Man, Eckler hurts you right now. He's hurting you, bro. He's hurting you, bro. He's hurting you, bro. I don't know if you can sell Kirk on the high, assuming this is a 1 QB. You don't say Superflex anywhere. So assuming this is a 1 QB, try and sell Kirk Cousins on the high because, you don't necessarily need to start him. It's nice to have the backup. Or you sell Lamar and you roll with Kirk. But I would be very, very tempted to utilize that ability if, let's say, and I don't know about a 10-man league, but maybe there are some QB-needy teams. Goddard's going to be hard to sell. Debo's hard to sell. Lamb's hard to sell. You don't have the ability to sell anybody. This is a wait-and-see team. Unless you trade a quarterback for a Debo, a Waddle, a Kamara, a JT, or even a Cooper Kupp, this is a wait-and-see team. Wait-and-see team. Willman says, I just traded Purdy and Pierce for JT, Stafford, and Justice Hill. I think you mean instead of Justin Hill. 2-team league. QB, do I get Smitty approved? two league QB. Do you mean 2 QB league? Okay, so I traded Purdy and Pierce for JT, Matthew Stafford, and Justice Hill. I think it could work both ways. I mean, I like Purdy and Pierce right now. They're going to score you a good amount of points. JT is potentially a league winner. And Stafford looks okay, but does he get hurt? And, it just comes down to JT. But I venture to say, I know you're not going to like this, bro. I venture to say I'd rather maybe have Purdy and Pierce because I don't know what JT is right now. So, could you trade Pierce for JT straight up? I think you could. So why do the other part, Keep Purdy over Stafford, unless you just really like Stafford, which I understand and I could get behind. I won't agree, but I could get behind it and say, okay. But Purdy, it's just I don't know. I'd rather have Purdy. I think Purdy's steady. Purdy's a steady Eddie right now, but that's just me. I'm not huge on that. I'm not huge on that trade. Appreciate your super chat though, and maybe you bring me an alternative move that you could do that it will make me want to absolutely, say that at the end of the day, you smashed it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the second trade off of the first trade is amazing. Full PPR got offered Kamara plus Ridley for JJ. I probably take Kamara and Ridley if you need it, and let's look and see if you do. Your running backs are Pierce, Gibbs, Algier. Wide receivers are JJ, Olave, London. I'm light at wide receiver, accept or go for another trade. Chat, do you think this is enough to get Kamara and Ridley? Ridley's a top 5 wide receiver. JJ's top 1 to 3, 1 to 2. What are we doing here, chat? Are we taking Ridley and a Kamara? I think it's a pretty darn good offer. I think either way it's great. It's a $10 hauler, by the way.
To the moon.
All $10 haulers get a moonshot, but I am curious to know what the chat thinks on this one because this is a tough one. This is a tough one. With your team, especially with your team, you could potentially use both the players. Let's see. We got Davey says no. Mario, D. London, or Olave. Come on, Mario. Mario, what are you talking about, Olave? Why would you set Olave over Drake London? Give me a break, bro. Come on. Mario, you're wasting letters in space in the chat with that question, bro. Kamara side, JJ side. Don't do it. JJ. Olave. Of course Olave, bro. JJ is him. JJ. No way. I'll give up JJ for Ridley and Kamara, says Slim. Rid and Kamara. Ridley and Kamara. It's close, man. It's close. I probably would take Ridley and Kamara if you felt like you needed to. It's a good question, though. Full PPR, got to offer Kamara and Ridley. Yeah, that's God. I'm going to say Ridley Kamara. It's close, though, bro. Trade away Devontae Smith plus Barkley for Bijan. That's too much. That's too much. Do I trade Barkley and something for Bijan? Do I trade Devontae Smith and throw it in? No, I don't. Landon with the super chat here. Traded Goddard and some fab for London. That's good. I don't mind that. I still think London is got a lot of upside. People are crazy the way they're discounting this man. Kwani, Smitty was should I do? What are we writing here? Smitty was should I do with Hawkinson after tonight? We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Not saying I won't repeat it, but if you want more content on it, you hold him if you can. You trade him if you have to because he's got good value. And there's no argument against either side. It depends on you, and it depends on what you need. Not about just like JJ shouldn't be traded if you're winning and doing great. But if you can't win, you've got to trade him, or you have no hope anyway. What are you going to do? Hold on to a player that's amazing and you keep losing? You got to get two players. You got to do the Ridley Kamara thing, something like that. Love Roshan Alvin Kamara, ETN, Bigsby, McKinnon, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Ridley, Dotson. Okay. I mean, it's a good team. I don't think you need to make any moves. You wait on Kamara. You've got ETN. You've got Love. You could use Hawkinson to upgrade Love into Josh Allen and something. Pick up Kincaid. Go Josh Allen, Kincaid instead of Love and Hawkinson. I mean, those two players are better. I love the Jordan Love and Kincaid side more. That would be something if you could pull something like that off and Kincaid's on waivers. Full PPR, trade Gibbs, Addison for Kupp and Javonte. No, I don't trade Gibbs and Addison. Absolutely not. You're selling low on both players, bro. Thank you for the super chat. My bench is Monty, Dotson, Zay, JSN, Rashad White, Eckler, Kelly. Okay. Appreciate you and your super chat and the follow-up. Started the week with J.J. Hawkinson and Devontae Smith. Nice job. To the moon. Elevations rocking it in week 1. Rocking it. $5 from Rogue. Thoughts on a trade rumors of Swift to the Colts or Ravens? They're not trading Swift now, bro. They're in full, smash mode right now. They just won because of him. The last thing they're going to do is trade him. Traded Garrett Wilson and Monty for Kenneth Walker and Michael Pittman. I like Garrett Wilson, Monty better. I'm sorry, bro. Like, Garrett Wilson is not a guy I'm trading like that. I'm trading if I'm trading Garrett Wilson, I'm trading for him to get like a St. Brown by giving up somebody just to sidestep a little bit. But I'm not trading. This is trading Garrett Wilson like he's a 4th round pick. Monty's a solid player. I wouldn't have done that trade. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. You're asking me my honest opinion. Bring that to me next time before you pull the trigger. Anthony Richardson is a QB1, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be right. You might be right, and some of the chat might think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the chat's also going to agree. I like Walker a lot, but Monty is not that big of a drop-off considering the wide receiver drop-off. Garrett Wilson to Michael Pittman's a huge drop-off. Do I drop Khalil Herbert for Purdy? Herbert is my worst player. Also, do I trade Addison for Kamara? I would take Kamara in a millisecond if you need RBs, unless you're loaded at RB. And do I drop Khalil Herbert for Purdy? I do if that's going to help you. Like, if you're worried, but AR5 is pretty good. But, Purdy's nice. And if you're worried about a backup quarterback, then, I understand. If you're not going to find one later and you're just like, let's safeguard this, this, and let's win. Let's do this thing. Quarterback's huge. Most important position. I got offered DK for Ayuk and Mike Williams. I'd probably rather have... this is tough because Ayuk could be better than DK. We got to acknowledge that. That's a possibility. Would I rather bank on DK? Probably. So I'd probably take the DK side, but could I live to regret this? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's that close. And if the chat would also drop a vote on that one, would you rather have DK or Ayuk? Hurting at running back. Eckler might be out. He probably is. Should I trade Myers for Dylan? Also, should I drop McKinnon? I wouldn't drop McKinnon if you're hurting at running back because he might be pretty valuable. P. Ryan, Herbert, and Kamara. I drop P. Ryan. Well, I guess I keep... So I dropped Myers for Dylan. I probably would pick up Dylan because if Aaron Jones misses time, and he, obviously he's banged up too, so he might. Then Dylan's going to be a good play. Yeah, I'd pick up Dylan, and I'd probably drop McKinnon. I have P. Ryan and Herbert. I wouldn't drop McKinnon. I'd drop Myers for sure for Dylan. I would contemplate dropping P. Ryan for another player if it helps. Depends on who it is. Like, make sure Roshan's not out there, bro. And I have a feeling that Roshan is, and you didn't watch my waiver wire show. I just have a gut feeling, but I hope I'm wrong. Gibbs for Walker and Charbonnet. No, I'd take Gibbs. Amari plus Swift for Ridley. In a millisecond, I take Ridley. And that will be on the sell high, buy low show is the how do you trade Swift if you want to trade Swift? And for Ridley is the great way, and I'm going to even write this down to make sure I talk about that specific scenario. So you're going to trade Ridley, trade for Ridley, Swift plus something, but you got to make sure it's the right something and not too much of an overpay. Traded Garrett Wilson and Roschon for St. Brown for St. Brown, got him. Traded Garrett Wilson and Roschon for St. Brown. I like that.
Got him.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to Garrett Wilson. It's the sidestep we're looking for to get into that slight safe space, you know. Can you help me on the text line after the show? Absolutely, Sick Nasty. Appreciate you. Trade my CMC for D. Smith and ETN. It depends on your team needs, bro, but I could get behind that if you really needed it, you know. Should I trade A.J. Brown, Madison for Diggs and Cup? I would take Diggs and Cup. Absolutely. Kwani, Garrett Wilson and Pacheco for Waddle and Kamara. Give me Waddle and Kamara. Easily. And Charles with this one, trade Swift and Dotson for DJ Moore and Javonte. I'd rather have Swift and Dotson. Helix, $5 hauler, 14-man, 0.5. Any moves you would try? Mahomes, Metcalf, Godwin, Connor. I mean, Connor's just wasting away on your bench. You probably can't even trade him anymore. I've been saying to not draft him, let alone hold him after week 1. Now he's got zero value. But Connor, if you could trade Connor away, Connor and Puka for like Debo, bro. Connor and Puka, Connor and Godwin, Puka, Connor, and Godwin, all for one better player like a struggling Waddle. Connor and Puka for Damian Pierce. Connor and Puka for Alvin Kamara. Oh, you got Kamara for JT. All amazing potential moves, my guy. Drip says, do I trade A.J. Brown for Devontae Smith? I would take Devontae Smith. Traded Sanders, Higgins, Sutton for A.J. Brown, Pitts. Sanders, Higgins, Sutton. You know, Higgins is going to potentially bounce back, but I would probably rather have A.J. Brown. But it's not that far off. Like, it's not like you got him on that trade. It's a close trade. $10 hauler from my boy, Austin. What do you think about me leaving Swift on the bench this week? I have Pierce, Javonte, Fields. I'm almost asking this like the game hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? Like, aren't I kind of reading it that way? Is anybody else reading it that way? What do you think about me leaving Swift on the bench this week? I have Pierce and Javonte, Fields, Olave, JJ, Ridley, Kincaid starting. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say start Swift. If you can retroactively do it. I mean, look, Javonte and Swift were arguable at the time. It doesn't feel that way now, I know. You're not sitting Olave, JJ, or Ridley. You're not sitting Pierce. It was Javonte or Swift. And the God's honest truth, Adrian, okay, I'll look for your super chats in a second. It's hard. You got to include it all in one message because I don't know what you're talking about. Eight super chats later, you know what I mean? So I'll look real quick. What to think about me leaving Swift on the bench? I mean, I would have probably started Swift over Javonte until, I mean, it felt like the move to make, bro. It felt like the move to make. Right before the game, we were hyping it up. We're like, look, I know it's risky, but he feels like he's going to start. And Javonte's sharing carries until he's not. So would I have done it? No. Do I think you, again, $10 hauler,
to the moon.
50 super chat. Do I think it could still work out for you? Sure. I mean, Javonte still gets his game to go. Probably not going to outscore Swift, but you know, you might be okay. He might get like 100 total yards and a score, and then you're not that far off. But I definitely wouldn't have done that. I would have started Swift. But you got a nice problem going forward, though, right? You can maybe make a move. Should I trade D. Henry for A.J. Brown and Pacheco? Absolutely not. You can get more. I like the idea of trading Henry before something happens, but just traded Madison and Hurst for Stevenson. Totally got him.
Got him.
I won't be surprised if the veto police come looking for you after that one. That one's pretty bad. Just get it done. Start one wide receiver and one flex. Full PPR. Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Breece Hall. Starting Gibbs, Bijan, and Ridley. So one wide receiver, one flex. I don't know. Like, your safe moves are probably like DJ Moore and Zay Flowers, but do I want you to start Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall? Those are your best players. So safety says go that route, but logic says if you want to just go matchup, which I don't know if that's logical, actually. It's more like conservative, not necessarily logical, but Zay Flowers and DJ Moore. But how do you sit Garrett Wilson? How do you sit Breece Hall? Those are your studs. Can I get a chat vote on this one? Start 2. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and Breece Hall. And Mike Evans deserves to be in this conversation too. Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Breece Hall. Can you guys list 2 players, please? Appreciate you. Football Nerd says, I got offered a trade right before the season started. I gave them Ridley. They gave me DK and Pickens. Should I take a lap? Probably, but that's okay. I mean, we're a Ridley country here, bro. We love Pickens too, but we're definitely a Ridley country here. We love our Calvin Ridley. Adrian, your first super chat was here. And your second super chat was here. So do I drop JSN for Roshan? My running backs are horrendous. So rock out if you can mute real quick. I appreciate it. Monty, Dotson, Zay, Flowers, I assume. Rashad, I mean, I'm dropping Rashad White before I'm dropping JSN. And honestly, like I like Kelly. You can't really drop him. But like JSN's better than him. I'm just telling you. Like I'm not dropping JSN. I'd probably drop Rashad White. And it's a shame you've got to, but in your bench size, it's just unfortunate. That is your worst player, So appreciate you dropping your super chat. And then I've got a gauntlet of super chats here I got to throw on screen. Thank you very much. Again, Young had the first super chat of the day. If anybody didn't see it, Young, thank you to the moon, Young.
To the moon.
Dropping that Swift rocket ship super chat. Appreciate you. Let me get to the bottom of these supers and drop them all on screen in the order in which they were received. And once I get that going, I can go to Rockout real quick. Rockout, I have to get through these, so I probably can't be too long here. So think of a quick question if you could. And AB, I got to throw ABs on here. I got KSO. I got G Money coming in with a super chat. Warren or Kincaid in the flex this week. I'm probably going to go Warren. Probably Warren, but I'm really hopeful Kincaid makes this an easy decision by like week 4 or 5, But for right now, I'd say Warren. Keep in mind the Niners were a tough matchup, and everybody's going to ignore that there was a potential threat of Najee losing like 40% of his work to Jalen Warren walking into the season, and now no one's talking about it because the rushing attack didn't do anything. Javante Puka got JT JSN. Totally smashed him to pieces.
Got him.
That one's a phenomenal one there, Captain. Appreciate you for dropping that. Calvin with a $2 hauler. Pick a running back and a flex. Gibbs, Connor, Davis, Logan Thomas, I assume. I'm going to go Gabe Davis and Gibbs. Gibbs is the lock. What's good, Smitty? Would you start Christian Watson or Garrett Wilson? Let's say Christian Watson's like full go, no limitations. Probably Christian Watson. But I don't know that we can answer that question. I don't think he's going to even play necessarily. So do I trade London for Christian Watson? I probably would. Even on the chance Watson misses another game, you're probably looking to sit London this week, right? It's very hard for you to play him. So that's the way I would roll. And hope on Watson coming back and being strong. I meant Garrett Wilson traded Algier for Debo. Legend says, I meant Garrett Wilson traded Algier for Debo. So Debo plus Garrett Wilson 4. Legend, this one doesn't even make sense. Like you're writing in shorthand. I meant G. Will traded Algier for Debo, period. Debo plus Garrett Wilson. It's like you're clarifying with a super chat and he made it just as confusing. Debo plus Garrett Wilson for what? Like a trade? I would say, I mean, that's a lot of talent to send for one player. You better get like a Jamar Chase, and even then I would argue depends on your team, like that's a lot of talent to send to somebody. But JJ, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, you better get a top 5, 6, 7 overall player if this is what we're talking about. So traded Algier for Debo, which is a smash, by the way. You crushed that. It would suck if you got Bijan. You didn't have Algier, though. But Legend, that's I think I got it. But you got to get a top 5 player. That's a lot of talent. Top 10 player at least, you know. Traded away Olave. Thanks for the super chat, Legend. Traded Olave and Walker for Bijan and Judy. Look, I love Bijan, bro, but that's a lot of talent to send away. I don't love Judy as much. If you like Judy, then that trade's good. If you don't like Judy, then you're not going to like that trade. I don't trust Judy at all. But the thing is, you could turn Judy and something into a player I like, and then all of a sudden I love the trade. You know what I mean? So that's all you got to really do at this point to make that a trade that I love. Like, take Judy, add another player I don't really love, like a Miles Sanders, turn it into a Debo, and then all of a sudden you got Bijan and Debo for Olave and Walker, and I'm telling you, take a victory lap. You know what I'm saying? You're one extra move away sending Judy packing. And Judy is expected to play, so the value's up. You can maybe get rid of him. Traded away Ayuk for Garrett Wilson. My team now is Hurts. I don't mind this trade. I think a lot of people think that this is not a good move. I could go either way. I could Smitty approve either side, to be honest. Which ultimately means I wouldn't Smitty approve it because it's even to me or whatever. But I'd probably rather have Garrett Wilson. Like, I like Ayuk a lot, but I'd rather take the chance on Garrett Wilson. He's not dropping out of the top 12 wide receivers, people. Traded my Kamara and Garrett Wilson for Chubb. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson and Chubb, Grant. But it's not bad. Like, it's preference. That's a preference thing. I can tell you half the chat would disagree with me, so you're probably fine in terms of getting approval. But as an Eagles fan, I'm concerned about Hurts. I mean, I don't think you should be that concerned about him, bro. He had 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had a passing touchdown. He had another 2 potential touchdowns, even though he probably wouldn't have scored both of them because they're on the same drive. But he had 2 other touchdowns literally not go down. He would have had a 4-touchdown game, and you wouldn't have been concerned at all. Look, it was a rough first half, but he came through, and he did well. I'm concerned about the Eagles a little bit being as good, and they got to get into their rhythm. But their defense is phenomenal. This is a good team, man. They're just trying to find their way, with losing their commander. You know what I mean? Smitty, if you slammed supers, I think you missed mine, says Cameras. I don't think I did, Cameras. I remember your name. I remember this. Let's see here. I think you might have stepped out. You might have went to go drop a deuce or something. Ryan just got in. What's up, Smitty? Would you sell high on Swift? I definitely covered this one. And thoughts on London. I love London. People are overreacting on London. Ryan, you went and dropped one, didn't you? You went and pinched off. You took the kids to the pool. There's no way you didn't see this. But I'll still repeat it for you, Ryan. I'll say this. I'll say that it's dependent. I think you triggered the whole conversation that I went on a rant for a while. It depends on your team. It depends on your team. It depends on if you're winning. It depends on if you just had a bad week 1, but you look like you're going to rebound. Then why make moves that you don't need to make? But if you could laterally step into a safer player, and I think like Debo counts, Garrett Wilson counts. You trade Swift for Garrett Wilson, I like that. For Waddle, I like that. For Kenneth Walker, I like that. If you're trying to sell him like somebody wanted to buy Puka Nakua using Swift, that is the worst thing you could do because you're not taking advantage of any of the hiked up value. His value's hiked up. It's hiked up to the ceiling. In London, people are giving up on him. He's a 5th rounder. He's getting dropped everywhere. It's ridiculous. It's disrespectful. And I can't believe people are treating this man the way that they're treating him. Bryson with the $20 hauler. Freaking monster on screen. Thank you, Bryson. I'm going to celebrate you in a second. Let me get these 2 off. Should I trade St. Brown, Andrews for Higgins and Kelsey? I don't trust Andrews at all right now. I guess I take Higgins and Kelsey. I trust Higgins more than I trust Andrews, and Kelsey's a top 5 overall player. St. Brown's top 12. I'd probably take Higgins, and I'd probably try and trade Higgins the first moment he has a big game, though, to be honest. Like, that's a tough one. Andrews worries the hell out of me. Start one, Najee, D-Mont, or DJ Moore. I'm going to go D-Monty for safety, bro. If you want to splash, I mean, you could go Najee or DJ. They're pretty even, but they're both high risk. And the reward's high, but so is DeMonte's. I'd probably say DeMonte's safest. And if the chat disagrees, vote in the chat if you like DeMonte or DJ Moore or Najee. Najee's the easy call, I think, knee-jerk reaction style. But at the end of the day, bro, Monty's going to deliver pretty well. 10-man league, $20 holler. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, $20 holler, Bryson. 10-man league, PPR, 2 flex, 1 QB, T-Law, Tua, trade Tua or T-Law. I've already mentioned this before, right? Running backs, Walker, Chubb, Gainwell, Penny. Where's Swift? You got the entire backup Eagle backfield. Right? Hall, Roshan, okay, Garrett Wilson, Olave. Your team's really good, bro. Devontae Smith, your wide receivers are off the hook. London, some potential trade piece. Hawkinson's really nice to trade away now, but he's also nice to hold. It depends on your situation. You're deep enough to where you don't need to trade him. But do you think it after today? What do you think of it after today? I love it after today. I still trade one of your quarterbacks in a 1 QB league like this. And Tua's got a lot of firepower. Maybe you trade Tua and Chubb for like CMC if you wanted to go that route, or potentially Tua. Tua for Gibbs, Tua for Waddle. I don't know that you really even need it with your wide receivers, so I would focus on getting a running back in there. And I'd focus on an upgrade, or you hold and wait. Let Tua gain more value. Let somebody's quarterback room go to shambles next week, because you're going to have options. 10-man league's probably a little harder, so you let some other injury happen, and then you trade Tua and Nick Chubb to go get the top running back in football. Bijan for Tua and Chubb and you might not even have to trade Chubb. You might have to get rid of like London, and like maybe Roshan gains a lot of value and he's a starter or something, and you could trade Tua and Roshan for a Bijan later. Your best option might be to wait if you don't get an amazing offer. And rock out, hang tight, I'm almost done. Also have D Swift. Nice. D Swift and Tua for, a Bijan right now without trading away Chubb. That might be your move to make then. Box of Juice says, I did poop Swift trade. You took too long, bro. I'm effed. I took too long. What did you do? Let me go look at your super chat. Should I trade Swift away for Puka Nakua? No, bro.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Box of Juice, come on, bro. You can't make a trade because I took too long. Why did you do that? Why, Box of Juice? What would make you do this? Is let me tell you. I'll tell you what it is. It's the psychology in fantasy football. This is. You know what Box of Juice was thinking? He was saying to himself, "This is too good to be true. I better get rid of him now before the ceiling crashes down." But you don't stop to think for a second that it's better for it to crash down than to just get out. Like, you got out on old value of him being nearly not even starting material, maybe almost cut type fodder. Like, he just climbed into high-end running back 2 value. You could have got a Debo. You could have got a Waddle. You could have got a Kenneth Walker. And you traded him for an injured Puka Nakua. Maybe you could use the old he's injured, you traded me an injured player rule. I don't know what you can do, but Box of Juice, you know better than this. Like we were literally celebrating his name before the trade happened, bro. You can call in Box of Juice and I'll help you try and navigate this, but I don't know what made you think Puka was the way to go there. He's injured, bro. That guy traded you an injured player. Can you use the injury clause? That's a weak move, to be honest, but I mean, everybody's league's different. Like, hey, you traded me a hurt player. Within 24 hours, you get to withdraw the trade. I don't know, bro. You just took a hurt player. He's injured. You just took a hurt player. Saw the trade video. 12 team Superflex trying to package a combination of Dotson. Box of Juice, call in. I won't blast you. I just want to help you. Superflex trying to package a combination of Dotson, Howell, Mostert, and Pacheco for flex. Dotson, Howell, Mostert, Pacheco. I don't know that you're gonna. I mean, maybe like Howell's pretty valuable to somebody that has no QBs, but he's not going to be valuable to somebody that has like a similar Howell type player. Dotson's not really sellable. Pacheco not yet. You almost got to wait in a way, bro. If I'm you, Antonio, I let Howell go out and do good work. I roll the dice that he has a better day, and I roll the dice that Dotson or Pacheco have a better day. And part of me thinks you try and pinch off a trade right now, and you're gonna end up, you're gonna end up right back at the drawing table, like trying to make a move because you just gave up too early on the value. Who should I start? So I'd say wait, stand down, let those guys gain value, then come back next week to make a trade. Sometimes standing down is the best move, and I can't tell you to just go make a move.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
So hang tight. Raul dropping the super chat. Who should I start at tight end, Komet or Kincaid? I go Kincaid, but it's risky. I have St. Brown at wide receiver 1. Got Puka Nacua, who's injured. He still could play, but he's injured. Garrett Wilson, Dotson, JSN. Your order of your receivers would be, just so you have an order, it would be Garrett Wilson, then Dotson, then Nacua or JSN. And I quietly like JSN so much that I don't want people putting him on the bench yet, but he could take like another week or two to get there. Should I trade Mark Andrews, Christian Watson, Khalil Herbert for Kittle and Gibbs? If you like winning, I would make that trade. Then I maybe flip Kittle. That's Smitty approved. And we got a $20 hauler from Caleb. Appreciate Caleb very much for dropping this magnificent wad on screen.
Alert. Super chat alert.
This is my boy Caleb. Caleb, appreciate you. 10-man league, Lamar, Chubb, Henry, Christian Watson, Debo, Waller, Brees, Javonte. Bench is Dotson, JSN, Khalil Herbert, Love. I'm chatted earlier about trading CD for Brees Hall and Debo. Panicking on my team, low-key moves. Yeah, CD Hall. CD for Brees Hall and Debo. Panic on your team? I don't know if I'd be panicking on your team as much as I would just say, like, Henry's a good sell high. Chubb's probably a wait because you don't want to sell him low. Lamar, I panic on. I didn't want to draft him, period. But he still could rebound for sure. You know what I mean? Christian Watson's been injured. Debo. Brees Hall and Debo. Don't go get CD, in my opinion. Not for Brees Hall and Debo. Javonte. If it's me, I trade Henry. That offense looks horrible. Trade Henry for 2 players, bro. And just pick an anchor. Like a Waddle, and see if you can get like a Pierce thrown in. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the best move, really, that exact move. I'm just trying to give you an example. I'd try and get more than that. I think Henry could get you more than that. Walker would be a good anchor. Ridley and a Pierce like type of thing for Henry. I feel like that you have the potential to get a 2-player. Just go bring it back though. I don't want you to come back and take a bath on it. You know what I mean? So please bring it back. AB, did I get to yours? I traded Mark Andrews and Watson and Khalil Herbert for Kittle. And yeah, I did get that one. This one's from $10 hauler from my boy.
To the moon.
Appreciate you. This one says, I sent Kamara, Pickens, and Mingo for Flowers, Nico, and Superflex Dynasty. Kamara and Pickens for Flowers and Nico. I'd rather have Kamara and Pickens, man. I think Pickens can rival. I love Flowers. I do love him, but I think Pickens is a boss. I don't like that trade. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't disapprove it. I just don't like it. I'm not going to hit the button. I'd rather have Pickens. Pickens is so close to Flowers, and you're giving up Kamara. So I'm going to say negative on that one. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Rock out. You're live.
People get scared about Bijan not being RB1 with college year taking a bunch of work last week. What can you tell them? far as Bijan being that number one still.
It sounds like you're on like a mic and like somebody handed to the audience member and they're like, go ahead and ask your question, sir. He's like, yes. I thought that was recorded. Or you're reading it. Don't be panicked about week 1, number 1. Number 2, Gibbs got eased in. Javonte's getting eased in. Breece Hall's getting eased in. Rookies or injured players are getting eased in. It makes sense to ease them in. Bijan Robinson is in. He's catching passes. His touchdown was a reception. So there's a lot of reasons why he's not going to get as many carries as maybe everybody thought. But they, initially, because he's all over the field and they want to keep him healthy all year. They're going to run the ball so many times. Algier got a lot of good, I don't want to say lucky opportunities, but Bijan could have just as easily been the one that they rotated to when Algier scored his touchdowns. So, there's going to be a game where Bijan scores 3 touchdowns and everyone's going to go to the moon. But there probably will be a handful of games where there are some vultures, or fields of vultures. But the thing you got to remember, though, is that when you run the ball 570 times like the Falcons do, every time Algier does something good, it's going to feel like a vulture. But we got to remember that other teams wouldn't have had those extra opportunities anyway. You know what I mean? So, if a team's going to run the ball 410 times, there's no vulture opportunities. If you run the ball 570 times like the Falcons, there's literally 100 to 125 more rushing attempts that wouldn't have been there. So, if Algier gets those, who cares? It just feels wrong. It feels like you're getting screwed. But really you're not, because there's no way possible that Bijan could have all of those attempts because he'd get hurt. So you just got to let it go and not think about it.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about people getting scared about it. Not me, but I'm talking about overall space.
Yeah. Liquid Silk with the $5 hauler. Smitty, if Connor is out with the calf, what are your thoughts about Keontae Ingram? He's okay. He's a good pickup and play. He's about he's probably better or equal start to Kyron Williams this week against the Niners. You got everybody picking up Kyron Williams like he's the best thing ever, and he plays the 49ers. He's not going to do anything against the 49ers. Box of Juice says, is Puka not the next Cup? CBS said so. Well, I mean, bro, this isn't CBS. This ain't your mom and pop show, no, he's not the next Cooper Kupp. There's a couple things going on, Box of Juice. Number one, you're listening to a cookie cutter show. You stay over here, Box of Juice. This is your home. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe Puka Nacua is the next Cooper Kupp, bro. I don't know. I don't think he is. I think what this is Matthew Stafford. I think what this is if Puka Nacua didn't have Matthew Stafford, who is very injury prone, who could get injured tomorrow and not be out there. He's very injury prone. The likelihood of Stafford playing more than 8-9 games is very low in my opinion. But I could be wrong on that. Mike, if you could go on mute real quick. You got some background noise like I've never heard before in my life. Sounds like you're at a Trump rally. I feel like from one perspective, it's like Stafford feeds the receiver. This is what I said about Kupp too. Before Kupp, I said Kupp's injury prone. Okay, number one. Kupp's 30 years old. Kupp's coming off a major injury, and Kupp has an initial hamstring tear that is the likelihood of re-injury is high, and then he re-injured it. But even before the hamstring tear, complete avoid for me. Because the moment Stafford's ripped from that equation, he doesn't do anything to the degree he's been doing it. Part of the reason Kupp is who he was is because Stafford overloaded him with targets. Now, Kupp did an amazing job reeling him in. I'm not taking away anything from Kupp. He's an amazing receiver. But Stafford, if Stafford's gone, there's no way Kupp is doing what he did in the past with a different quarterback. There's zero chance. Puka Nacua is a benefactor of his oversaturation of one player, and so Puka does look good right now. He is not the next Cooper Kupp. And look, box of juice, just to give you a little bit of solace here, Swift could get hurt tomorrow. And then you'd have Puka and he'd have nobody. So don't like get all crazy on this, but you got to be careful. You listen to somebody talk up Puka Nacua, and you should have said to myself, okay, he's a good buy low candidate. You went and bought him like he was like he was Cooper Kupp. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand when someone talks a player up, if you believe that analyst or believe whoever, at least go into it with caution and like, you know, getting a good deal on your mind. You can't go to a garage sale, bro, and someone's selling a baseball card for 25 cents and you know it's worth $20 and you say, I'll pay you $20 for it. You know what I mean? Like you're going shopping for Puka Nacua in the weeds and you hope you're finding a gem, a diamond in the rough, bro. You're not going to, you just went and bought a diamond in the rough at high-end wide receiver 2 value. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with that. Zastro with a super chat. Appreciate you, Zastro. Cody dropping a 20 watt on screen. Cody, let me take care of you right now. All $20 haulers get immediate assistance. Yeah, this Puka Nacua, I don't know. Infatuation is out of control. Absolutely out of control. He is a good waiver wire guy that we picked up, right, if he's there, and we hope that it works out. And he's definitely a nice pick up and hold, a nice wide receiver 3 potentially. But DAndre Swift just climbed into a whole tier above him, the running back 2 category. Puka's a flex, and he's injured. He's injured. He may not even play. He may play, but if he plays, he's playing injured. And they overfed him, and he wasn't ready. He's also going to break down if Stafford keeps feeding him that way because he gave him freaking, 10,000 targets in week number 1. Thank you, Cody.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My boy, Cody dropping a 20 watt on screen. Owner has Law Dog Purdy. Hang tight, Mike. I'm coming for you. Then rock out mute if you could. I'll come right back to you. Owner has Law Dog Purdy and Love on trade block. He needs running back. Who would you put in a trade? Smith, Deontay, Najee with backup. Javonte with backups. Brian Robinson, Gibbs, Godwin, Dell. Owner has Law Dog Purdy. So I assume, Cody, you need I don't know, bro. I don't remember the question. I don't know if this is you're in need of a QB. I don't know if this is super flex. I don't have any information in front of me. I have 10,000 questions before I got to this one again. So you got to put it in this self-contained chat. Let me see if I can look for it. Use $20 super chatted, bro. I'm going to go looking for you. Cody, I'm going to go searching the ends of the earth for your last message because you deserve it. 10-man super flex. Trade offer: Fields, Aaron Jones, Sutton for Mahomes, DJ Moore. Fields and okay. So I told you I'd rather have Mahomes and DJ Moore. Very arguable, but I'd rather have the security of that. So you're saying here, owner has Law Dog, Purdy, and Love. So I assume same league, right? Needs a running back. I'd send him. I mean, I don't think he's going to give you Law Dog for Javonte. But, of course, I'm going to try. Godwin and Javonte for Law Dog. This is super flex. So if you're sticking this guy right next to Patty Mahomes, it's worth Godwin and Javonte. It really is. And I don't know that he would do it, but you could give him Javonte. I would contemplate giving him Najee in the backups for... Absolutely. Give him Najee in the backups for Law Dog. You know, it puts you in a little bit of a pickle at running back, though. But you got Gibbs, you got Javonte with the backups. I prefer to give him Javonte in the backups, my guy, if it's at all possible. You know, Javonte, the backups, and Godwin feel a lot better than giving up Najee in the backup, which is Jalen Warren, by the way. Yeah, so definitely try and not give up Najee. Dynasty, thank you for the $20 hauler, you magnificent man. Dynasty Superflex, I traded away Addison plus a 24 first for JT. I used your trade calculator and it said smash it. But here's the thing, though. It depends on the first rounder. Like that first rounder, you're assuming like you got to select a pick in there, you know, like in trade calculator. So if you pick the 1.1 or the 1.5 or the 1.2, you know what I mean? So you got to, the first rounder is dependent. If it's a late first rounder, then yeah, it's a smash. If it's a 1.1, it's not. So it does depend on that. But yeah, should be a 1.6. So hopefully in the trade calculator, you did select a one in that range. But I would take JT. He's still got a lot of time left. I like Addison, but I like JT more. So nice job in general for needing a running back. I think you did a pretty good job. Cole, appreciate you. In this one right here, Cole says Tyreek, J. Cook, London 4, Waddle, Debo, Kenneth Walker. Woo. Tyreek, James Cook, London for Waddle, Debo, Kenneth Walker. What do you think, Rockout? That one's tough, bro. Tyreek, James Cook, London. I don't love James Cook at all. And London's, I like London. He's not someone you cut, but he's definitely questionable right now. So this is essentially like Tyreek and a hopeful London bounces back for Waddle, Walker, and Debo. I kind of lean the Waddle, Walker, Debo unless Cole, you have so much depth that it doesn't really even help you. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough call. Rock out.
Not really feeling good. What's the other side?
Oh, it's all right. I took it off the screen. It's all right, Rock out. I'll come back to you. 1 second. Dynasty 1 QB. Okay. If it's 1 QB, bro, and you've got, what did you have? See, Cody, you got to include. I already forgot it, Cody. It's got to be in the message. Then I got to go back and pull it up. Owner has Law Dog, Purdy. I don't know. So 1 QB. Who's your quarterback? Kyron. I got Lamar. You got Lamar, Rodgers. You don't need Law Dog then. If you got Lamar, you don't need Law Dog. I see Lamar at the bottom there. I'm sorry I messed that up. You don't need Lamar or Law Dog. I'm not going after Law Dog in that situation. I mean, I don't love Lamar, but you made your bed with him. You could trade Lamar. You could trade Lamar and Law Dog. You could trade Lamar for Law Dog and give up something along the lines of, let me see what Cody had. Cody, you could give up like a Kyron Williams or maybe a Godwin. If you think Law Dog's that much better than Lamar. Lamar's got upside though. Lamar could be as good as Law Dog. Could be better than Law Dog, potentially. It's definitely possible. You know what I'm saying? Jarrett with the $10 hauler. Box of Juice dropping another super chat. Amon dropping a super chat. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate your super chat. Cole. Amon says, Dynasty PPR type of draft picks would you expect in return for trading away JT? Well, we just saw someone get a mid-first rounder and Addison. So I think that's, acceptable type of package. JT for, I would say at least one kind of high-end first rounder. If they're too late or middle round, 2 first rounders. But I don't know that I'd be trading them for middle first rounders. I'd rather bank on JT than get like a late first round pick or 2 late first round picks. They'd have to be, one would have to have a nice shot at being like the 1.1 or 1.2, or I wouldn't do it. Sometimes CBS can be capping, bro. You're right. They don't draft Brees a couple weeks back. Anyways, thanks for helping. Hey, Box of Juice, call in. I want to help you out, bro. Call in, okay? Hernandez, appreciate you with the $10 hauler, my guy. Box of Juice, I don't want you feeling bad walking away from tonight's stream. I'm gonna talk you up, okay? So get in here. Somebody, I got another offer for JJ. My wide receivers are JJ Olave, London. Running backs are Pierce, Gibbs, Hill. Okay. Waddle and Garrett Wilson, or Kamara and Ridley. Which one do I take? Waddle and Garrett Wilson for JJ's pretty intriguing. Kamara and Ridley for JJ's probably better. I would take Kamara and Ridley. And would I take it? Again, that's up to you, bro. It's so close. If you can win without making the move, like if you feel like your team is ready to win, if you're looking at the other rosters, and only you know this, I can't look at your entire team's league, your league and all the rosters, but if you feel like your team can compete with everybody with JJ, I would keep JJ. If your honest inventory of your team and your look in the mirror session goes like this, I'm the 4th or 5th best team, then you got to make a move, and that's a pretty darn good move. Sometimes CBS can be capping. Yeah, call in, Box of Juice. All right, let's go over to Mike. Mike hung up. He couldn't wait any longer. I'm sorry, Mike. Giancarlo, $10 hauler. Appreciate your super chat. Mike, call back. Mike was impatient. He was an impatient Ian, and he hung up on the line. Redraft, half PPR, Najee, Javante, Williams, Amari Cooper for Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, Charbonnet. I would take Derrick Henry and Garrett Wilson in a millisecond and Charbonnet. Millisecond. Hit it, punch it. Not that I wouldn't maybe trade Derrick Henry, though, and flip him, Giancarlo. But the value is the value, bro. I do it and I do it live. Should I trade? Let me see if this is you're live 478 caller. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Ty and I'm calling from Georgia.
Your name is what? From Georgia?
Ty.
Ty? What's up, Ty? What can I do for you?
Yes, sir. I wanted to get your opinion on my team to see what I can improve on.
Okay. Give it to me.
All right. It's Justin Fields, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Kyle Pitts, James Cook, Mike Evans, Ravens defense, Kuwait kicker. My bench is Breece Hall, Quinn Johnston, Traylon Burt, Elijah Moore, and Tyler Algier and Luke Musgrave.
Okay. So you got Algier, you got Hall. James Cook is not your starter. Breece Hall is your starter. So you said James Cook, and then you say your bench Breece Hall. So I'm just curious why you got Breece Hall on the bench, number one. I know he's got a tough matchup this week, so like maybe you're just reading this week's lineup. But even that, I don't think I'm sitting Breece Hall, even with a tough matchup, because he can pop off one run. James Cook just, I don't know. I mean, didn't you get enough of a dose of mediocrity in week one? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe James Cook plays well in week two, and I'm eating my words, but I'm not sitting my stud. My stud is Breece Hall. He's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, now luckily I started Breece Hall week one. I sat him this week because I figured the Dallas Cowboy defense was going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a tough question, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, it's a committee there in Buffalo, and they've always had that the last handful of years for sure. I don't think I'm going to end up putting Breece Hall on the bench. Not if it's for a player like that, Trade wise, James Cook, I'm trading. That way it solves your problem. James Cook, you got a very solid team at Bijan. You got Walker. You got Charbonnet too?
No, sir.
Is Charbonnet on waivers?
Nah, somebody has him, and he doesn't want to come off of it.
Okay, he'll probably drop him eventually if you just stay quiet. Don't say anything to him. Just let him grow tired of him. And then you can just grab him when he drops him. The moment you start asking about him, he's gonna know. I'm not gonna drop him all year. I'm gonna hold him. But if you just don't say anything, he'll drop him eventually. This team's really good. I mean, the one thing I'd say is that could James Cook and Waddle get you a St. Brown? Could James Cook and potentially Walker get you a Pollard? Could James Cook and Evans go get you could James Cook get you Debo straight up? Could James Cook and Evans get you I know you already have them, but a Ridley type? I'd just be looking at that. Past that, bro, your team's very good. I don't know that you're forced to do anything. If nobody gives you an overpay and you don't trick somebody into a trade, I just kind of let this team ride. Waddle's got to improve in value. Walker's got to improve in value. Fields has got to improve in value. Bijan's got to improve in value. James Cook's got to improve on value. Evans is a guy you could trade now. Debo straight up. Dameon Pierce, if you want to go get a running back, that would be an intriguing proposition. Alvin Kamara using Mike Evans. Alvin Kamara would be fantastic for this roster. JT would be fantastic for this roster by giving up Evans. James Cook for JT. James Cook for Kamara. Kyle Pitts, I don't care about at all at this point right now. So Kyle Pitts and James Cook for Kamara. Kyle Pitts and James Cook for JT. Go do it live, bro. You can turn this into a sneaky sleeping giant squad while it actually scores points right now too.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in. Ty from Georgia. I got you in the system. Call in anytime. Later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alex Cruz. My man.
Smitty,
Hold on, Niner Rick. Niner Rick says I skipped his super chat. Should I trade A.J. Brown and Madison for Jamar Chase? Of course you should. Maybe the reason I skipped it, Niner Rick, is because I thought it was a joke. You ever think of that, Niner Rick? Maybe I saw this and I said, this is a joke. Should I try and trade A.J. Brown and Madison for Jamar Chase? Should you try? You could try, but the person is going to slam the door right in your face. But I would certainly try. That looks like a pretty nice move. And I didn't skip your super chat because it just came in. And then Ryan with this next super chat. I got it on screen here. Alex Cruz, what can I do for you?
Do you have time to look over my team?
Yeah, hit me with it.
First of all, I just want to say, oh man, what a beautiful night! What a beautiful night!
Wasn't it? Wasn't it kind of like a?
To the moon.
Didn't it suck to watch like Sunday's slate of games, the main slate, the morning and afternoon? It felt like we all wanted to drive our head through a brick wall, and it wasn't just us. It wasn't like, oh, it's the Moon Men and the Mars Men and just the show. It was everybody. It was the entire fantasy football industry, the entire fantasy football landscape. Nobody was safe. Some people had a 140-point team, but like if you did, you also had alternate universes where you had 80-point teams and you weren't fully happy. Like some of us had teams that won, right? Of course you did. But but we're looking at the person that beat us in the league and we're going, oh, they're happy. They're not happy because they got 5 leagues where they got blasted. And then it comes in the Monday night game and then this Thursday game. And you're right. What a wonderful scoring affair. Just absolute beautiful display of fantasy football production. All right, hit me with it, Alex.
All right. Quarterback, I got Josh Allen. Wide receiver, I got Waddle and Ayuk. Running back, Swift. Cook, that's James Cook. Tight end, Kelsey. Wide receiver, and flex, Addison. And then on the bench, I got Dodson, Kamara, and then McKinnon, Sutton, A-Chain, kind of guys I wouldn't start.
Okay, so you got Kamara. Let me put this here. Josh Allen, Waddle, Ayuk, Swift, James Cook, Kelsey. Kamara's fantastic. Once Kamara's in here, what'd you say?
And then Addison as well.
Yeah. Once Kamara's in here, things start picking up for you.
Yeah.
You 1-0 or 0-1? Probably 0-1.
I am
right?
0-1.
Yeah, because Allen crapped the bed. Waddle crapped the bed. If I'm you, bro, I'm sending James Cook and Ayuk together for one better player. I'm sending...
Yeah,
I'm toying around.
I almost did Ayuk and Swift, but I did,
Dude, what do you think about this? So you're not starting Addison? You're only starting.
I started him tonight, yes, because Dotson was the other possible start.
Do you think that it'd be crazy, bro, if this team had JT and Kamara?
You think?
It's kind of fun, bro.
JT and Kamara.
I mean it.
But who would you give up?
I mean, like I don't necessarily want to trade Addison, but it would be interesting. But Cook, I don't think anyone's going to give you JT for James Cook. But I mean, here's the thing: is I think Dotson has a big week. I think Dotson can hang with Addison. I mean, obviously, I think that, right? He's a moon man. I love him. He had a bad week 1. I'm not writing him off. Hurts did horrible in week 1. He did good in week 2. We've already Swifted horrible in week 1. He did great in week 2. We can't forget that we hated Swift coming out of week 1. We hated him. We hated his guts. We hated Philly, but we hated him. Now, how do we feel about Swift? We love him. So let's not pretend Dotson can't be the same. So I'm just saying, if you stay afloat, it sucks, though, because maybe you can use Addison for a now piece, though. And I'm not even saying to trade Addison. I'm just saying if you can sell high. Your team definitely feels like it needs something.
Yeah, it's because, and how we talked about it earlier, I took Kelsey and Allen in the top 3 rounds. So it definitely feels like it needs something because of that. So.
Yeah. It's not crazy to sell Swift high in anticipation of an injury or something like that. If you could trade like Swift and Addison for a Pollard, Like that would work. You could trade Swift and I'm not saying it'd be easy. I'm not saying everybody will do it. Swift and Addison for a Gibbs and something. That might work.
Yeah, because the guy who has Gibbs is also, he hit me up with an offer for Addison earlier on, so maybe I can work that.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Gibbs in there, that's pretty good, and then you wait on Kamara. I do like the idea of, like, let's say, God, if you could get JT on this team, it would be very fun, bro. Because, like, maybe you start off maybe you're 1-3 even. Like, I'm not saying it would be easy. I'm not saying, I think you would win one game, but let's say you were 2-2 somehow, some way. Like, you'd have, first of all, you have Kamara coming back for week 4, but that would be an interesting squad. That would be a really, really cool team. Allen, Kelsey, JT, Kamara, Waddle, I mean, you'd be on fire. It's just something to think about if you can get JT cheap, but I would definitely go after Gibbs, Addison, and Swift for Gibbs. But I don't necessarily trade Swift, but I think for your team, it would be smart to maybe try and consolidate to get a bigger gun.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, Alex, appreciate you later, man. This one's from Truss. Truss says, Wilson, Smith, Cooper, any trades I should make? I mean, that's a short list. Wilson, Smith, Cooper. I'd trade Cooper. Trade Cooper for Debo. Trade Cooper for Dameon Pierce. Trade Cooper for Walker. Trade Cooper for Kamara. You know what I'm saying, broski? There you go. There's a couple for you. Derek with the $10 hauler. Derek, my boy.
To the moon.
Coming in strong, Derek. You're coming in strong, Derek. It's 690 people still in here. They need to punch that thumb up. We only have 294 thumbs up. Derek. Derek. Oh. What happened? Wrong screen. Thank you, Nina Rick, for your super chat, but I don't think you're pulling that off. But please try. If you pull that off, you're a wizard. Hurts, JJ, St. Brown. Hurts, JJ, St. Brown, Brees, James Cook, Andrews, Pickens. This is a good little squad you got here, broski. Sell Puka Nacua because his value seems to be through the roof. We're getting DeAndre Swift for him right now, apparently. Sorry, Box of Juice. I probably hurt his feelings. Box of Juice, you can still call in, bro. I want to help you. Hurts, JJ, St. Brown, Brees. Not much to move here unless you're moving Andrews and James Cook together for just a cross position. Use the tight end drought in fantasy right now to get rid of Andrews before he ends up screwing you. Andrews and James Cook for like a Waddle or above. You know, like Devontae Smith was just available, really. He was. Now he's not. But, like, there are other players that could have that kind of uptick. Honestly, Andrews for Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's too undervalued right now. I don't like how everybody's treating my little Garrett Wilson. I don't like it. Roshan and A-Chain available on waivers. You've got to get Roshan. Go watch my waiver wire video, bro. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. I love when people say, Smitty, should I pick up Roshan? It's like, what do you know, insult my intelligence. Not really. I know everybody can't watch everything. But you got to at least watch my waiver wire show, man. You got to watch it. You got to watch it, people. I'm not talking about you, by the way, Derek. I'm talking about people that say, do I pick up Roshan or do I pick up Kyron Williams? I mean, I literally talk about it on like 2-3 different shows, and I rant and rave about it for like 20 minutes each. This $5 hauler from Ryan. Need to choose my wide receiver 2, both flexes this week, but also have a few weeks moving forward. Mike Williams, Treylon Burks, JSN, Kyron Williams, and DJ Chark. Probably Mike Williams and JSN this week. Kyron Williams faces the Niners. It's not an easy call, though, you know, but that's probably what I would say. Thank you, Derek, for the super chat. Let's go over to Mike from Houston and then go to Chris. But if everybody can mute real quick, somebody's like doing laundry or lifting weights, we can hear your mouth breathing. Just hit the mute button if you could. And Mike, you're up.
Hey, Smitty, I just had a question about my squad. I'm wondering what you thought about it. If there's any changes I should make.
Okay, go ahead. Not too many more team roster evals because I got to write it all down, and I'm going to get out of here soon. So go ahead, hit me with your team.
Okay, all right.
Lucky winner because I put you on the board so long.
It's 18 PPR. It's Mahomes, Pollard, Gibbs, Hill, Smith, Freiermuth, and Garrett Wilson.
Gibbs, Smith, Wilson, and Freiermuth. Okay. Okay, it's a
Yeah, I was wondering because I saw your the video, and I was wondering, you think I should move off of Garrett Wilson? Because I know you're confident in him, but I just don't know what Zach Wilson.
Well, I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, everybody feels that way. They're not sure, but move off him how? You know, like depends what that means. Does it mean trade him in for a Waddle straight up? Sure. I mean, I'm okay with that. Get a Deebo Samuel and Damian Pierce. I'm okay with that. You know. Let me put this caller on hold real quick. Hold on 1 second. 606 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? And what's your name, bro? I'm going to put you on hold, but I just want to get you in here. What's your name?
Okay, Draven.
Draven from Kentucky. Hold on, Draven. And just mute if you could.
Yeah, I got you.
From Kentucky. Okay, gotcha. All right. Yeah, bro, this team's really good. Mahomes, Pollard, Gibbs, D. Smith, Garrett Wilson. What's your bench look like?
So my bench, let me see 1 second. Is Brees Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, Trevor Lawrence, Drake London, Brian Robinson, Roshan Johnson, and Elijah Moore.
Okay, you said Hall, T-Law, Hall, Drake London, and who else? You said someone else?
Pacheco, Brian Robinson, Roshan Johnson, and Elijah Moore.
That's a good bench, bro. So you got a lot of options, actually. You know, like, you also could stand pat. This is a 10 team or an 8? 10?
This is 8.
Yeah. I mean, trade. There's got to be. I mean, it's an 8-man league, so there's probably not anybody devastated at quarterback. Is there anybody devastated at quarterback? Did somebody really screw up at quarterback and like they don't have one? I doubt it in 8, but
I mean, someone has like Watson. That's like the lowest you can go. I know owner has Watson,
and they're not interested in T-Law. They like Watson probably.
No, I actually think I might be able to trade him T-Law, because I mean, who wouldn't want T-Law over Watson? To be honest.
I mean, who wouldn't? Honestly, I would go that route and just kind of see what you can do. Like an example, I mean, I obviously don't know their team, but an example would be like T-Law and Garrett Wilson for St. Brown, and then you just feel a little bit safer, you know, something like that. And they might look at Garrett Wilson and say to themselves, okay, you know, and I would too, you know, if I didn't love my quarterback situation and you came to me with T-Law, I'd look at St. Brown and go, I love Garrett Wilson though. I think people are undervaluing him. I'll go ahead and make this move. You know, like, it's not a horrible move. It's a good move for both of you. I mean, it's a better move for you, but D. Smith looks great. Pollard looks great. Gibbs is going to just be an explosive player. Hall is going to be top. I don't think you need to do anything. Roshan or Pacheco or both are going to gain value this week or in the coming weeks. I think at least one of them will gain value, which you could couple with Garrett Wilson eventually to upgrade him if you want. The problem is you'll have to wait a little bit, because if Garrett Wilson does, you know, shiat the bed against the Dallas Cowboys, it's a tough matchup. But they do give up plays. They're not so much like lockdown Niner style. They're just high scoring, very aggressive, like violent defense. But you know, Garrett Wilson could still catch a touchdown, 40 yards, or do the same thing. But you know, trading him now might be advantageous because the buy lows might not be there anymore. And by looking at a buy low list, and I look at wide receivers from my site, thefantasyfootballshow.com. If anybody wants content, go on to thefantasyfootballshow.com. But if I look at my rankings right now, and I say to myself, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown's a good buy low right now. A.J. Brown's a good buy low. Olave, you're not going to buy him low. CD Lamb's a pretty good, like, straight across, and then you give something, you know, like London or whatever. Waddle is a pretty decent straight across. Deebo would be kind of a crafty straight across, but you get something else potentially. But honestly, bro, Deebo's got the ability to be as good as Garrett Wilson. I mean, I've thought that all offseason. I haven't, like, wavered because Garrett Wilson lost his quarterback. I've always thought Deebo has the potential. So you could go that route, maybe get a little bit more. Or, bro, you just trade, you know, does the Watson owner have Deebo by chance? Are we lucky here?
No, he has, I know he has like CMC, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones. They're like his best players right now.
Aaron Jones is hurt, so I don't know if you could, like, I mean, I'd almost rather have. I mean, Adams is interesting, and somebody said earlier they would trade Garrett Wilson for Adams. Do I approve that? And I said, look, I don't like Adams in the top 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 like everybody liked all offseason long, or even the bottom of the second. But does Garrett Wilson fall to where Adams is? Very, very arguable. They're in the same place right now.
Okay.
So I don't hate that, but I'd rather you go a different route. But I'm also of the tune of like, just wait, man. You got this bench is going to get better. You're going to have a lot more ability to trade later. Don't force it. Something comes your way, do it. But, like, would I give up Hall? No. Would I give up Gibbs? No. Pollard? No. Mahomes? No. Devontae Smith? No. Garrett Wilson? Not selling low. Would I give him up? Yes. Would I trade him low? No. So just sit on this team. This team is really good. Let some turmoil happen at quarterback, and you might have T-Law offers coming in. All right, later, bro. Appreciate you. You could also later, bro, if you don't think you can win, like if later on you don't think you can win, Mike, you might want to entertain selling Mahomes and starting T-Law and going and getting a top 5, 6, 7 overall player, because somebody will buy Mahomes at that value later after draft day. You can't, Mahomes goes in the third round, late second round, third round, but in trade he goes like for top 10 overall talent. I got offered Bijan and Debo for my AJ Brown, Swift, and James Conner. What do I think? I think if you like winning, you'll take Bijan and Debo, and you'll go to the bank in the morning. They open it at 8 or 9, and get a little advance on your, tell them you want to advance on your entry, your league entry fee. Smitty, I need a whiteboard. Can I call in? Hernandez says, yeah, I can do one more whiteboard for you, Hernandez. That's it. I have Lamar, Cousins. This is a $5. McCaffrey, Hall, Roshan, Dillon, Javonte Williams, Wilson. What moves to make? Hopkins, trade Puka while you can. High, while everybody loves the man. He's injured, though. You even put him twice. You love him so much you put him twice in your listing, Chris. You can't keep your eyes off him or your mind off him. You're like, Puka, London, Puka. Everyone loves Puka. They love him. They love him. They put him twice in their list. It's crazy. Dillon, Javonte. Unless you can trade Puka and Wilson for like a St. Brown, give up a Dillon, give up a Javonte and Wilson for an elite top 6 wide receiver, something like that. I'm just kind of like waiting on Garrett Wilson. I don't like trading him that low. I'm sitting on this team. This is a very good team. Maybe Puka and Hopkins, or Puka and Hopkins for one player, go a little bit higher than Hopkins. Maybe Puka and London for Debo. Puka and London for Debo, or Puka and Lamar, or London and Lamar, or Hopkins and Lamar for a Josh Allen or quarterback upgrade, Chris. That's probably where I would take that team. Chubbs with a super chat here. Start 1, JSN, Dotson, Lockett, Flowers. I'm going to start probably Zay Flowers is your safe play, and Dotson's your secondary safe play. And I think Dotson has a good game, so I'd probably go Zay. But, man, I think Dotson pops off. Hit me later in the week. I don't want to lock that down yet. I might want to go Dotson. I might change my mind to Dotson. 0-1, 12-man league, PPR Fields, Gibbs, Pierce, Chase, Mike Williams, Kincaid, DJ Moore, Roshan, Kyron Williams, Puka, Dotson, Khalil Herbert. Need help. I mean, you don't need help. You're 0-1 and it's early. So, but I would say like Fields, Gibbs, Pierce is good. Chase, Mike Williams. Trade Mike Williams and Pierce for one better player. Obviously, you could try for a Pollard. I don't think you would get it. Pierce is hard to trade high, so you might have to wait. So you might have to go like Mike Williams and Puka for a Debo, a slight upgrade, a slight bump somewhere. Puka for Christian Watson. Give a Kyron Williams with it. Like, go after some of these buy low players, bro, that are not going to be buy low for long, like Pickens and would I rather have Pickens over Puka? Yes, I would. Would I rather have Debo over Puka and Kyron? Yes, I would. Absolutely. You got Khalil Herbert and Roshan. That's pretty nice. You could trade the duo to somebody with Puka, and maybe, I don't know. I've seen people get like Kenneth Walkers. I've seen people get Debos. I love Debo there. Waddle Waddle's pretty cheap. Maybe the Bears running backs with Puka could get you Waddle. You'd be shocked at what Puka can do, and Tyler Algier for that matter. For people out there with Algier that picked up Algier. I think I got these super chats out of the way here. Wilson, Smith, Cooper, any trades? Thank you guys all for the super chats. I think I'm caught up here. And then I had these two here that came in here. I mean, Willman, I think, that super chatted earlier and then didn't. He came in strong with the $4.99 after that. Thank you, bro. And Legend did as well. So I think I took care of everybody. Did I miss anybody's super chat? If I did, please tell me and I'll try and help you. Let's go over to Draven from Kentucky, then Chris from Vegas. Actually, Draven, you were after Chris. Chris, real quick, and then Draven. Chris, go ahead. You're live.
Hey, Smitty, how's it going?
Oh, I'm good, bro. I'm sorry about the delay.
No, don't apologize. So during your show, a guy offered me a trade. He wants to give me Flowers for Pittman. I already accepted that trade. My next question is a guy dropped London today. He's on waivers. And I'm looking at dropping Godwin and pick up London. Or do I try to trade Godwin for Pickens? Which way would you go on that?
I'd rather have Pickens over Godwin personally. I think Godwin's an injury risk. I don't love his situation, so I would do that. I would definitely pick up London. But who's your worst player? You don't have a worse player than... Or sorry, you were going to pick up... Who were you going to drop for London? Godwin? Yeah. You don't have a worse player
Godwin's
than...
my worst. Godwin's my worst one right now.
Really? What size league? Like 8-man, 4 bench?
It's only a 10, yeah, you're correct.
Man, I mean, try and trade him. I don't know that you're going to have a market for it in a small league like that. You might have no market for Godwin. But, like, can't you throw,
That's
like what kind of wide receivers do you have in running backs?
Give me just a second.
Because if you could throw Godwin and a player to go get an even Steven player that you just like a little bit better, that person is going to be like, you're going to give me a free Godwin for this? Okay. You know, like I liked Pollard over Barkley before the season began, and I traded Barkley straight up for Pollard. And in similar fashion, they were like, "Really? You're gonna give me Barkley for Pollard?" And I was like, "Yeah, right. I'll do it straight up." And they're like, "Okay." And they took it. Everybody made fun of me. It's my buddy league. They all make from 20 years. They made fun of me. They're like, and it's like that's how it's easy swap for me. So like, yeah. What do you have running back and wide receiver wise?
So running backs that I have currently are Pacheco, Bijan, Gibbs, Roshan, and Kamara.
Okay. Wide receivers?
Wide receivers, I have Metcalf, Lamb, Godwin, Moore, and then Zay Flowers once the trade goes through.
Okay, so what I would probably do if I was you is like take a DK and Godwin and go look at all the wide receivers that you like, that you believe people are going to think DK and this guy are the same. You know, example would be, I mean, Ridley was that guy before week 1, but no longer. He's a top 12, 13 overall player. Yeah. But like what player, Devontae Smith was that player. He no longer is that player. So you're going to lose ability to get these guys every week they play. Waddle is interesting. Yeah. I think Waddle over DK and Godwin, so that might be one. You could potentially do like a Godwin and Pacheco for just another player, you like Pierce or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of where I'd take it. Who's your quarterback?
I got Trevor Lawrence, and then my backup is Kirk Cousins, and of course Cousins was on my bench tonight.
T-Law and Godwin for Burrow, Josh Allen, things like that, man. Just slight upgrade somewhere where somebody might not actually even think they're downgrading. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting a free Godwin, bro." All right, man.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
All right. So you you would say try to trade Godwin, just don't drop him for London, correct?
I mean, what did Godwin even do? What was his stat line last week? What was his end stat line? I saw him.
He didn't do much. I know that.
Yeah, it was not good. But I'd probably rather have London, but I think you can trade him. I think you could just go to a team and try and do a 1-for-1 trade essentially in your mind, and you're giving him Godwin just to say, hey, these equal players. I like your player just a little bit.
I was gonna try to trade Godwin for Pickens straight up.
Hey, what about? Do you have IR in this league?
No. I wish we did, but no.
That's even more difficult. I was going to say go get JT, put him on IR. Godwin, JT, IR,
and it's
boom.
non-PPR as well.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, good luck. Appreciate you, Chris.
Thank you.
Let us know what happens. Draven from Kentucky.
Hey, okay. Before I tell you my team, I have to tell you a trade I made. Smitty, I need help, man. Like, I think I messed up my whole league, my whole team. But let me go ahead and tell you this trade that is going to go through. This is my second time, like, doing fantasy, so I'm still new, and I'm from Kentucky, and I know the chat's going to, like, call me dumb. But, okay, this is a trade that's going through that I can't take back. It's going to be, I'm going to get JT and Jalen Waddle, okay? But I'm going to give up Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, and DK Metcalf. I know that's dumb, but my thinking was that DK Metcalf, him and Jalen Waddle. I think Waddle's going to have a better season than DK. I think Etienne. Evan Ingram. I think Trevor Lawrence ain't going to throw to him that much because he has Etienne and Cav.
Yeah, let me just stop you. I get what you're thinking. First of all, it's not as bad as you made it out to be. Like, if JT comes back and gets traded, now we don't need to use the Philadelphia Eagles as an example because that was what we always say because they got Swift. I would say, like, if JT comes back and even if he doesn't get traded, but he plays like a top 10 running back, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to wait a little while, so as long as you tread water, you'll be okay. But I wouldn't start saying Etienne's not going to catch passes. He's certainly going to catch passes. They threw to him a bunch. So he's finally getting the PPR work. So don't try and justify that. Etienne's going to the moon. But I would say this is not as bad as you made it out to be. You just got to float, bro. You got to figure out a way to get 2 wins, 2 losses, at least come out on top and be and the stream nights. Tex, appreciate you. Yeah, you'll be fine. Just get 2 wins, you'll be okay. You didn't make a horrible trade. You didn't make a horrible trade. It's not, it's arguable. It just depends on you're letting it ride on JT, and that's okay. It's a fun move. It's a fun swing for the fences. It's not horrible.
And then I feel like my wide receivers are not that good. That's why I wanted to get Waddle because I feel like he has like bust potential, but I mean like boom potential. But would you like to know my team?
I got to go, so I can't really dig into it too much. But call back tomorrow and we'll figure it out. Make sure Roshan's not out there on waivers, bro, or any other player that should be grabbed. Watch my waiver wire videos so you can get a sense of why and what to do. But call in tomorrow, pal. Appreciate you. All
okay,
right,
thank
later.
you. I appreciate you.
Juan the newbie, make it as quickly as you can, bro. I'm going to try and get out of here. We've been here for 3 hours.
All right, sounds good, Smitty. I just wanted to ask, I don't know who to play on the flex because also I don't know if I should play Gibbs and Montgomery because I have both of them. And the other contenders for my flex would be Dotson or Jason or Christian Watson if he plays. So what are you thinking?
I think that, like, if Watson was fully healthy, I would say Watson's very entertaining and intriguing. Dotson will be, and I think this could be, you know how people bench Swift today and they're pissed off? That could be you with Dotson and a lot of people with Dotson coming out of week 2. I just want to warn everyone for that. And JSN at some point. I don't know if it'll be JSN's week, this week, next week, the week after. Could be week 7. There will be a time where people are like, son of a bee, he's on my bench. Because that's the nature of a guy that hasn't broke out yet and trying to time that. And the moment you start a player like that, like JSN, one time and he craps the bed, you immediately draw a conclusion that it's never going to happen. And then you don't even go down that road again. So it's not like you're going to continue to throw JSN in there. In week 1, people that threw him in got burned, or they don't even want to play him again. They just think he's garbage now. He's going to have his day. If C. Watson weren't going to be banged up, even if he played, and I don't know that he'll play, probably won't, but if he, let's say, a miracle recovery and he plays, he still could be limited. Monty's safer, and they run the ball enough that I feel like you're probably not going to be disappointed with the sum total. And the nice thing about the duo is I don't think that one of these guys is getting 4 points and one of them's getting 25 and you're like, damn it, I shouldn't have. I think it's going to be kind of a thing where they both get you, let's say there's 30 points, and no matter what, you're kind of getting it. It doesn't matter how it comes in. You're just going to end the day. You're going to not feel stressed when Monty gets the carry. When it's not the most ideal way to build your team, but with these options on the table, given Watson injured, it's safe. It's very safe with what you've got going here. It is safe, and I think you probably end up with we'll call it 30 points. Just divide it up, and you're gonna breathe easy every time they rotate them out.
Yeah. So you think I should play Gibbs, right?
I mean,
Gibbs and Monty.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, bro.
Yeah, because I got Gibbs really cheap too. I traded. I just got him. I traded Geno Smith and.
What was I even talking for? I
Gibbs.
wasn't listening. Yeah, Gibbs and Monty, bro. Final answer. Appreciate you.
Right,
call him tomorrow, pal. Appreciate you. Later.
Right,
Later. Double confirmation. Donnie's up in here. I swear. All that talking I did, and it's like, so you think I should play Gibbs? Come on, bro. Come on. So, is the meat expired? What's the expiration date say, Smitty? Well, this is me. Miss Smitty, is the turkey okay to eat in the fridge? Yes, Smitty. What's the expiration date say? Oh, next week? Okay. So, can I eat the turkey, Miss Smitty? Double confirming. Donnie's up in here. Calling tomorrow. Don't forget. Last guy said BK Metcalf. Thank you, Box of Juice. I appreciate you. Rock out. Any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, right now I got Javonte as my second flex, but would you put Dobbs or McLaurin or Dobbs if he's healthy and...
Wait, say this all again? I'm confused. It's too late.
I have Javonte as my second flex, but my other two options would be McLaurin or Dobbs if he's healthy.
McLaurin or Romeo Dobbs. I'd probably go Javonte as the safe play, McLaurin as the higher. Well, Dobbs might, maybe Dobbs is the safe play. Because he's practicing. He's gonna go. He's gonna go. He's not gonna sit out the game. Maybe I'm gonna say Dobbs is a safe play. Maybe Javonte's the high risk, high reward. It's funny how that flips on me like that.
And they're still splitting carries, at least for right now.
Yeah, I go Dobbs. Does anybody disagree? Dobbs, right? Dobbs season? Probably Dobbs.
It could be. Loves looking for him.
Yeah, I still think Christian Watson's the guy, but right now it's probably Dobbs. Voicemail link, please. About to join. Go to my Instagram, bro. Instagram, which is right here. And The Fantasy Football Show. Click on that subscribe button on Instagram. Just go to my profile. The Fantasy Football Show. Hit subscribe if you want to be a part of the voicemail crew on that voicemail show each week. But you can't drop them now. You can join the group and then get in the group chat and talk to everybody, get help. Everybody's very helpful in the group chat. And so if you want to get in on that. Rock out. I'll see you later, pal.
All right.
We got a bunch of Dobbs votes, I think.
Yeah, we'll look at it in a couple days.
Yeah, definitely need to revisit. All right, later, man. All right, everybody. I think I'm out of here. Appreciate all the super chats. Loso, appreciate you. Join that voicemail group. Box of Juice, thank you. All my super chatters, appreciate you. I got my $20 haulers. I got that boy dropping a 20 wad. Liquid Silk dropping a 20 wad. Foamy dropping a 20 wad. Sora dropping a 20 wad on screen. And Cody dropping a 20 wad. I appreciate every single one of you monsters that just dropped that 20 spot on screen. I can't thank you enough. Appreciate you all. And thank you all for everybody that dropped a super chat, a thumbs up. Hit the thumb up button on the way out the door. Thank you to my mod squad, Travis. And I don't know, Blackbeard in here? I haven't seen Blackbeard. Maybe I just haven't noticed him as much in here lately. But where's Blackbeard? Where's my mod squad? Peanut Butter and Waivers in the building. Appreciate you. We might need to make another mod at some point. We might need to look at... Peanut Butter and Waivers might need to become a mod at some point. I don't know. I'll let Travis and the boys and Sick Nasty's in the building. Thank you for moderating, Sick Nasty. Travis, do you think that we need another mod? Because it feels like we...
Hello?
Hold on one second, Mark. Turn the background noise down if you could, bro. Travis, do we need another mod right now? Because it seems like we go with one mod sometimes lately. Because we got some boys out once in a while. I don't know if Peanut Butter and Waivers would be a good option. You tell me. We'll look to him. We'll look to him later. Mark, what's up? Yeah, go quick. I'm leaving.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for getting me in. So I got 5 players. Which one would you not put in? Which one's sitting out for flex? Tyler Algier, Pickens, Dobbs, Dylan, Brian Robinson.
Brian, you just wasted my marker, bro. You just wasted Brian Robinson. What are we putting Brian Robinson? Look, I say that and he's going to go out and have 100 yards and a touchdown. I know it. So start Brian Robinson just because I said that. But I just like all those other options. Brian Robinson's a committee. I don't know how much they're going to run. He looked crappy at times. And, he runs hard, but I just don't know that. What did he end up with last week?
He did well. Let me see.
He had a lot of carries, but I don't know that he did well. Let's see here.
In my league, he scored 12 points.
Yeah, he did okay. He did okay. B-Rob. The Gibson did fumble the ball. So part of me wonders, what does his workload change going into this game, to where it could be something significant. He averaged 3 yards a carry, though. 19 carries was a lot. And I think when Gibson fumbled, he probably put a nail in his coffin. But, 3.1 yards per carry is bad. And it was the Cardinals. So Denver, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, full PPR if that matters.
Yeah. 3 targets.
So that's the one you're leaving out. You're leaving Brian Robinson off.
Yeah, name him again. Dobbs, Pickens.
Dobbs, Pickens. Brian Robinson, Tyler Algier, and
Dodson.
Did I get it wrong?
Was it Dodson? Who's the last one?
Let's say everybody. Pickens, Brian, 1, 2, Algier, Dylan. Dobbs. Yeah, that's
Dylan. Obviously, if Aaron Jones played or something, then Dylan wouldn't be as good. So maybe that would be a tough call there. Bring this to me later, but I'm pretty sure Dylan's going to get significant time. So, all right, bro, call in and we'll talk about it later in the week. Mark, we got time.
All right, later. Sounds good. Thank you.
Later. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Mod Squad. Thank you all. Thanks to everybody. DAndre Swift, Moon Man.
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer space.
Moon Man Revenge Tour week is in full effect. I could feel it Chigakonkwo is probably the one guy on here that I don't know that is going to represent the Moonman list at the end of the day. Chigakonkwo feels like he could have been a mistake, but let's hope we're wrong about that. Let's hope he somehow, some way gets the football. I just think his offense is garbage. Just absolute garbage. Voicemails. You said voicemails. Boom, he's in. Okay. Loso, DM me on Instagram and I'll add you to the private group, and then you'll have to look for it's going to be every Monday, right when the Monday Night Football game starts. I'm going to create a 24-hour expiring chat that you're not supposed to type in or anything. It's only for holding down and leaving voicemails. And don't abuse it. Leave like 50 voicemails. Like one or two is fine. And so you'll do that in that 24-hour period. You have to do it within that 24-hour period. And then if not, you can just talk in the chat with everybody. I'm not really answering every question in there. We have like 1,000 questions in a day, like people just chatting back and forth. It's a great little chat group. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So that means tomorrow we will be live at Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm live whenever news breaks. Deuces.
A lion lives among us, posing as half man, half lawman. His golden mane is reportedly 6 feet long and is bathed in milk.
That's right.
His marvelous mane grows longer with each breath he takes. Legend has it that if you say T-Law in the dark in the bathroom 3 times, you lose your league instantly. Conspiracy fanatics have linked his triangle bone structure to the ancient pyramids and alien theory. He is a unicorn. Law Dog Milk for manes on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Get breached.